We make Mauled Hound a little bit larger today. I think we have medium hound, big hound. This is, well, actually, can I move? No, I can't move. I have to go. I have to go over here. Because if I don't go over here, we're going to get really fucked up with the green screen. And then, oh, I think I have to switch. Yeah, I have to switch which display is which. Hold on, everybody. Recursive mauled. Be cursed. So we move this over, move that over. This goes over here. Now we're set. Tremendous. What's up, Troper? What's up, John Morrison? Welcome to the stream. You are first, Troper. Alexa, play the fucking theme song. Brain Slayer, the weekend has been good. It has been a lot busier than normal. So my brain is hanging on by a fucking thread. We are sleeping a lot more than usual. We're trying to eat better than usual. Have more protein shakes than usual to get through it. But my God. So I'm going to grab the order for today, post it, and we'll start waiting for those fine folks to hop into chat. I don't get my real name. Thank you for the tier 1 Twitch sub. And Shadow Walker, thank you as well. Shadow Walker, thank you for the 13 months, my friend. Over 1 year together. Very happy to have you. Melon BGE, thank you for the 1,000-bit cheer. Magic Man is back. What's poppin', Big Chief? Well, I did, first and foremost, a few hours ago, I did a short video talking about Rachel Weeks' new bracket, which I love. This is immediately so much better than the WotC bracket. It does not change anything about what the brackets actually are, but from a graphic design and information distribution or communication standpoint, holy God, this is so much better. Holy God, this is so much better. Yeah, I'll post this in announcements. Okay, that's now posted in the announcements. I didn't ping people. Not sure if it's me, but stream's being really choppy. My OBS and my stream sources are not telling me there's any problem, so I'll wait and see if other people are also having issues. But if not, check the hamster powering your laptop. What's up, Germinator? Welcome to the stream, my friend. Wait, I just realized, haven't you been errata to be the creature type dog since the Great Hound rework? No, they reworked that to stop stepping on my paws. So now, everybody but me is a dog. I'm the hound. The one and only. I'm like the Highlander. Let me make sure monetization is on. Jamphas, thank you for the Prime sub. I appreciate those Jeffrey dollars. Welcome to the dog home, my friend. And error code 1317. Thank you for the tier 1 Prime sub. Welcome to the dog home. I don't get my real name. Hit me with that rant. I'd rather live on paws than die on feet. That's got to be the new furry motto if it isn't a furry motto somewhere. But yeah, this is... Oh, Shouda's bringing the Tarkir deck to MagicCon Chicago. So are you doing a petition for Bracket Zero to exist with that? I'll bring a collection of Pocket Lint and Uno playing cards, and maybe that can play with the Tarkir deck. Pato Potatoes, thank you for the Twitch follow. Welcome to the doghouse, my friend. How do you bracket if you find an accidental infinite? My older Maria build could actually draw the deck with top Mystic Forge and a cost reducer, and I never realized until after I took Forge out. So this is kind of a tough thing that I think they've left out of the brackets, and I think is oftentimes up to your table. In terms of deck power, 3 and 4 card infinites probably do belong in core and upgraded. I think most people would say if you have a 4 card infinite, that is a telegraphed or incremental win. I still think it's lame. Me personally, I don't really want to play against any deck that is going to win via infinite combo, regardless of whether or not the rest of the deck fits into one of these brackets. But I do think that's a consideration that's outside the bracket system itself, because it's oftentimes a very like persnickety or a very personal decision. Because there's a ton of people who you're like, yeah, I have to play 4 cards that are all permanents in order to execute this combo. The whole thing takes 15 mana or something like that. Many people are going to call that telegraphed or incremental. And so rules is written, that does fit into core, and they've printed precons that have infinites in them. Personally, I think infinites are very womp womp and lame. And so I don't really know if they can cover them in the bracket system, or if that just always has to be something that is like, we talk about that as part of the pregame conversation that begins with the bracket system, but the bracket system doesn't cover it explicitly. Like, it's at least a thing that should be like an asterisk. Hey, you should talk about if you want infinites or not, period. Shadow Walker, thank you for the 400-bit cheer, my friend. Welcome to second place in the dog pile. Card draw in the command zone should probably factor in somehow. So, Jomi, I talked about that in the long form video that I did, where right now the bracket system outside of the game changers list does not account for what your commander does at all, and that is a massive mistake. That is for the like rough draft that this currently is. I think this is a really good start, but they are going to have to cross the bridge of what is your commander doing at some point, because there's plenty of commanders where you start in 3. Like, there's plenty of commanders where unless you build a terrible deck on purpose, you are starting at 3 no matter what. Like, I don't think Lathril can ever be described as suboptimal. I don't think Sacrifice Corvold can ever be described as suboptimal. Holy hell. Shoulda, thank you for the 1,000-bit cheer. Tarkir is going to beat your pocket lint any day of the week, Mauled. Bet, and I'll bet on Saturday, since I think that's going to be the Patreon game day. Melon, thank you for the 1,100-bit cheer. Hype train time indeed. We are up to level 4. Thank you all so much. Yeah, 4 mana Joyra's at least a 3. I agree with that, Riken. And I think we can go all day, but this is what I have talked about before with Warrior Mindset Commander, where you could build a deck that wasn't strong with them, but to build a deck, but you would have to be like picking not only suboptimally, you would have to be actively sabotaging yourself. Like, there's picking suboptimal cards because you like them, and then there's you have to pick something that's like, oh, this actively fucks up what I'm doing to prevent it from being strong. Also, holy hell, Alarin, thank you for the 5 gifted community subs. Welcome to Dog Heaven, my friend. Yeah, Pete TV, Lathril with no elves of suboptimal. True, and that is what I mean, where if you do anything that is even, like I think maybe a better way to describe Warrior Mindset is you can build them at a 1 if you do something totally ridiculous, but if you try to build them at 2, they always end up 3. In the context of the WotC bracket system, I think that is the best way to describe Warrior Mindset, is if you attempt to build a 2 with this commander, the commander is so good that the deck is going to be a 3 no matter what you do. But you can build a 1 if you play something totally fucking stupid with them. So let's grab the current order, and then as people need, we can move this order around. Vulture is going to be last. So Alarin, you're going to be, oh, that didn't grab Crab. Crab's first. So it's Crab, And then Alarin, you're going to get moved up before Vulture because Vulture said that they need to go at the very end of stream. We're also going to grab the Twitch link to post into YouTube chat for anybody that wants to come on Twitch. Twitch is where your chat shows up on screen, and I am legally obligated by Twitch. I have to spend at least 51% of my time reacting to Twitch messages. Otherwise, I will get in trouble. Spy Jockey, it's been a pretty good day. My brain is a little bit tired from playing Commander Spell Table with Joe Johnson, but it was for charity, so for a good cause I will do whatever. Hello, Ponzo. Welcome to the stream, my friend. Thank you so much. Zacharoni and Cheese, Lethal Potent, Pete's TV, and Gix Frostmeyer. Thank you for the Twitch follow. Welcome to the Doghouse, my friend. Do you prefer that we watch on Twitch? So let me open the other thing. I think it's in Streamer Life. Okay, we don't have it. I need to make a different slide in Streamer Life for this. So the way it works is if you're going to watch me live, watching me live on Twitch is better than watching me live on YouTube. But if you just want to watch the streams after the fact, watching the VODs on YouTube is better. The reason watching me live on Twitch can be better is because if companies pay me for a sponsored stream, they're going to pay based on my average Twitch watchers. It's not in why YouTube be hating. What's up, Phoebe? M. Burke92 and Skystorm Howl. Thank you for the Twitch follows. Welcome to the Doghouse, my friends. And Lethal Potent, thank you for the 100-bit cheer. Keeping that hype train going now at level 5. I appreciate that generosity very much. Welcome to the dog pile. I'm very new to Magic and found a deck list I like, but don't know how to tell if it is even playable. Jamfus, you could always post it on our Discord. We have a ton of people who are more than willing to give you free help with figuring out or improving a deck without any money. Brython Lexi, brackets 1 and 2 are silly, 3 is spooky, 4 to 5 is scary. Change my view. Lexi, I think that's probably the best approximation that you can make, but I do think it's an approximation. I still believe that the silly, spooky, scary scale is a better scale than any type of like numbered scale. I think those are the best ways to graft it, but I think for the most part, systems like this are just worse than vibes-based systems because there are so many exceptions. There's so much gray area. There are so many caveats. There are so many like loopholes on top of any rules you try to build that in general, I don't like systems that attempt to linearly describe less powerful to more powerful. Blue Jay, thank you very much for hopping over. Nightshade, the 2 ways to get your deck reviewed are to either be a Patreon member or to purchase a commission on Ko-Fi. Now, if you're a Patreon member, there are first come, first served roasting slots available to you every month, but if you don't sign up in time, you do not, you don't get in for that month. And that is just too bad. The main point of signing up for the Patreon is to support me. And so if you primarily want to roast, then you should try to get in through the Ko-Fi commissions. Those open the first Sunday of every month. We sell 18. They are like a store item, and we have a stock of 18. So if you're able to get one, you definitely get a roast. But if they sell out, you just can't buy one. This month, it took 7.5 minutes for the Patreon roast to fill up, and it took 3 minutes for the Ko-Fi roast to sell out. Chef Jaxp, thank you very much for the 100-bit cheer. Welcome to the dog pile, my friend. Hello and good day, Hype Train, ahoy. And Lord Merlin, Red Spectre, and Bibby Zara, thank you very much for the Twitch follows. Welcome to the Doghouse. And the Holy Elf, thank you for the Twitch follow. I think I missed that follow. Thank you, Sorian. I'm glad you appreciated the Henzy deck. Dictator Cherry, Ghost Messiah, thank you for becoming members on YouTube. Welcome to the Dog Home. I appreciate that support very much. And Messiah, I super hear you. I do appreciate that YouTube can be a much better viewing experience. So if you can't pop over, real. It can be very frustrating. I put in so much better interaction for the game for the charity game with Joe, and then everyone else's deck was just like, I'm gonna speed lethal. Scale 1 to 10, how annoying is all this pregame stuff? I think like a 1. I legitimately think most of the problems with this bracket system are arguments people are having with other people in their own head. I've seen a lot of people who are talking about their experience with the bracket system online, and the commonalities that I'm seeing are, if you have a group of people that are all willing to use it, they're all going, oh, well, we had to talk about some stuff, but this was pretty helpful. And the people who are having bad experiences with the bracket system are when people are sitting down and going, hey, can we have the bracket system talk? And somebody else goes, fuck you, I'm not using that. And then they also refuse to have any sort of pregame discussion, period. And so those people, I think just suck to play with no matter what. I don't think no update to the bracket system makes those people not shitty to play with. Universally, I think this is not a really big ask. Like, this is straight up. This is like a 3-sentence conversation. It's super easy. This probably... Because one thing I know that some people have talked about is there's a big crowd of people who take the stance of, don't have a pregame discussion, just play a game, and we can shuffle up and play another if the decks are mismatched. That's like an hour. That's like an hour of your fucking time that they're suggesting you just chuck into the ether, versus I think the average pregame discussion guided by this bracket system, 5 minutes, maybe. If you are not willing to invest 5 minutes in making sure that the game is going to be enjoyable because everybody's going to have a little bit of agency, like, I don't even know what to tell you, bro. Like, I understand that some days you're tired, you don't want to think, it's difficult. You should just have a script. I think a lot of people... Listen, as someone who is super autistic, I script so many of my conversations with other people. I flowchart so much shit in my life so that I'm not constantly stressing about what words I need to say next. Like, your commander deck, if you spend like 10 minutes, I guarantee you can come up with like a 2-sentence script for how you describe it to other people. Everybody, like, you ring around the rosy, everybody does that, and if there's an oddball out, they switch their deck. That's 5 minutes. Maybe 10 if there's like an even split and you guys are going back and forth on what you should do. It's so not hard. It's so not hard to do this shit. Yeah. Germinator, Stranger Ranger, and K Daitsu, thank you very much for the Twitch follows. Welcome to the Doghouse, my friend. Yeah, Xenomist, I think a lot of it's hindsight being 2020, and it really seemed like WotC's announcement on this shit was very like game changer focused, because it was half about debuting the bracket system and it was half about debuting the game changers list. And so they led way too much with all of this shit that's at the bottom. They led way too much with this shit that's at the bottom in the original graphic. Rachel Weeks, like, Rachel, never met her. This is amazing. This is the GOAT, okay? We clap for her It's also incredibly cunty to redo Wizards work like this, which I love. So off rip, this shit is amazing. Props to Rachel. This is such a better graphic. This should have been the one that got published in the first place, and it took her like what, 3 days to do this shit? Like 70, like fucking, what is it, 96 hours out? 96 hours out from them doing this thing they worked on for like half a year. Rachel was like, ooh, what if it worked though? Hella L, thank you for the Prime sub. I appreciate those Jeffrey dollars. Welcome to the dog home, my friend. My deck is a 3. Oh yeah, Alec, man, we got the hours conversion wrong. Because I did 3 days, 72, and then I was like, oh, it's been longer than 3. Maybe it was 4 days, so that's 96. But I think even 4 days is wrong, and I just didn't want to do another adjustment. My deck is a 3 is definitely going to be the new My Deck is a 7, though. Yeah, and this is another thing I talk about in the long form, where I think that the jump from 2 to 3 is fucking huge right now. Going from, there was one sentence on, it was either like Instagram or Reddit or something that summarized it just super, super well, where they were like, I don't want to have to go from we're playing with precons to Ristic Study is okay in one bracket jump. Engel5 Hers, thank you for the Twitch follow. Welcome to the doghouse, my friend. Anemone, I don't even know if 2.5 is where you get one game changer. I really just think it's like saying core is the average precon experience. I think this sentence is a mistake. This is also how they described it in the WotC article, which I think in general is very good, but I think in the bracket system as a whole, saying that 2 is basically a precon is a really big mistake and is looking at precons with rose-colored glasses, because holy shit, precons are bad. Precons are so fucking terribly bad and oftentimes do not play any Magic. And so needing to jump from that to Ristic Study cool, insane. It's like Captain America freeze a guy for 100 years technology. Blue Jay 00076, thank you for the Twitch follow. Welcome to the doghouse, my friend. Like they really should have taken like 10 precons and been like, these are the precons. These are the precons that are a 2. All the other precons are a 1. Precon commanders are OP and the lists are awful. That's a good point, Zacharoni, is we have a lot of like, oh, the precon commander very strong, the precon 99 heinous dog shit, which makes the precon play pattern really, really variable. So I think there's like, yeah, so I think there's a big disconnect between 2 and 3 right now, where my decks definitely aren't 2s, but they would all struggle to keep up with a deck that had like Smothering Tithe, Ristic Study, Tutor. Like and I know this because my girlfriend has an Aminatou deck that they upgraded, and at one time a bunch of those upgrades were game changers, and we were like, oh, this doesn't really match with any of our decks, and so they took a bunch of them out, and now I think they're like right at 3, and I had to put some in my deck to bring it up to a 3, but it was still generally like more powerful than I otherwise would have built. But all of the decks would have just like shithoused any precon at any moment, even when it was like, you know, it was definitely suboptimal. Like this is the Niv Mizzet clones deck I'm talking about. If we're talking about suboptimal strategies, I feel like clone Niv Mizzet Guild Pact has to be up there, but also so much fucking better than the average precon. Like this sentence just stands out like a sore thumb to me, because everything else makes sense. Is like telegraphed or incremental wins versus really, really good spells, maybe like Torment of Hailfire for X equals 10, or combos. But going pre-con Rhystic Study is just fucking insane. Joey, I don't know if it's really like deck intent. It's more of these brackets don't account for, like, they have the word synergy on them, but the decks don't actually account for synergy super well, or the metrics don't account for synergy really well. Game changers definitely influence how good your deck is. If you're trying to do 2-card combos, that definitely influences how strong your deck is. But they really don't tell the whole story. Howl, yeah, control decks are always going to be harder to rank. If your deck does not want to win as quickly as possible, always going to be difficult to rank. That's going to have to be something that you talk through. Lifeguard, I agree that synergy level is much harder. I don't think they can solve it with the system. Like, I think this is honestly, like, I think they need to work on the commander thing. I don't think the system itself is that bad. Like, I think a lot of the things that the system doesn't track, it's just straight up not built to track, and you have to cover it in Rule 0. I think what's making a lot of people uncomfortable is if you are a good deck builder, and what I'm going to quantify as being a good deck builder is you have watched at least 3 Salubrious Snail videos, you probably build 3s. Even if you don't use game changers, even if you're not using tutors, you know, even if you're not doing anything that's on the criteria list, if you have watched at least 3 snail videos, you probably just build 3s. And that's just how it is, because of how fucking bad most precons are, and we're comparing these to average precons. Who is Snail? My sleep paralysis demon. I don't actually watch his videos, but from the titles and reception alone, very smart, very good advice on deck building in general. Generally good shit. They give a lot of advice on like playing better land bases, playing interactions, stuff like that. So I think if you've watched any 3 of these videos, you probably build 3s. Okay, so I think we have almost everybody here. I'm going to post the order one more time. Also, Ghost Messiah, thank you so much for gifting a membership on YouTube. Welcome to Dog Heaven, my friend. How would brackets apply to actual events at local tabletop stores? Call me Caesar. The brackets would probably only apply to like casual F&M to help you find a table. And the way this would work is you would literally just have a bunch of these like placards laminated onto each table, and you would just have them as a reference for people looking for games. So I know we have Crab. I know we have Alarin. I swear to God we have Badger King. Reforming One, I'm not sure if there's anywhere you can watch it. I imagine when Tabletop Jocks is done streaming for the day, they will post the VOD on YouTube or something. So we're still looking for the Mighty Roosh and Vulture. If you two have not sounded off yet, or if you did sound off and I missed you, Mighty Roosh and Vulture, please let me know when you're in here. And otherwise, we need to do a manual ad break right now. I have Twitch's auto ad manager set to the minimum it will allow me to run. But when we actually get into the deck roasts, I want to keep mid-rolls away while we do the deck roast. And I want to keep pre-rolls away for anybody that comes in while we're doing the like capital C content. So I'm going to hit that ad break right now. After that, we will get into Crab's deck. Yeah, Python 3, like 3 is the Grand Canyon bracket. Like we have, all right, yeah, whole time. Let's talk about the big gaping hole that is bracket 3, because we have memes, then we have precons, then we have the Grand Canyon of basically all Commander that gets played, then we have high power, and then we have CEDH. I think the bracket system right now doesn't account for glass cannon decks either. So Jello, this might actually be my next long form video where I talk about the reason that linear scales like this in general will always fail. Because glass cannon is not a measure of a deck's strength, it's a measure of the deck's resiliency. And so saying very strong, very brittle, that is relevant in terms of how overall powerful a deck would be. But damn, do it not feel relevant if you win on turn 2 because nobody else had a counterspell. Like, those are qualities of a deck that become more visible in CEDH, but in low power, if you have a glass cannon deck, you probably have a deck that feels terrible to play against because either you win or you do nothing, which is bad. And there's a ton of other archetypes like that that a linear power scale will never cover because they are different facets than just how good a thing is. Round 4 and 5 are very, very different, actually. If you want to know the difference between bracket 4 and bracket 5, watch any gameplay footage that has Joe Johnson in it, because Joe Johnson exclusively plays 4s. Joe Johnson plays very, very powerful decks, and motherfucker never interacts with anything. He's letting you, like, 4s are just like high power Beyblade decks. You just let that shit rip and you see who wins first. CEDH decks are built typically with more interaction, typically with more recursion, typically with backup plans if their immediate win condition gets interrupted. Joe is like the king of Eldrazi, bleh! And if he gets you, he gets you. And if you stop him, he's fucked. So they don't interact and 5s do. I think that is too much of an oversimplification, but it is part of it, yes. Not all 4s are glass cannons. Many 4s are glass cannons, but not every single one. It's more to do with... It's really like... If you built your deck without looking up the 10 most popular decks you were likely to play against, you didn't build a 5. Flat out. If you built the deck by yourself in a cave, just looking at what are the best cards for the strategy I want to do, you built a 4. Building a 5 basically has to be done in the context of what are other people playing, what other win attempts do I need to try and stop, what stacks pieces do I need to get around. Like, it truly is as much as I hate like reductive ass shit talking, I do super agree with the, if you have to ask what would make it a 5, not a 5. It's just not a 5, bro. Kush Renata, thank you for the 500-bit cheer. I'm down to be made fun of if my idea is BS, but I think I solved the edges. If 1 is a jokey meme deck with those less concerned about play and more about social enjoyment, allow silver border cards in 1. As far as 5, what delineates CEDH is the density of the reserve list. Most commanders can be built into a 4 with good fundamentals. 4 likes reserve list cards like duels. 5 is defined by them. So I don't think your idea is bullshit, but based on the decks I've personally played against, I don't think that's true. I've seen a ton of 4s that utilize a lot of reserve list cards. I do agree that in 5, they're basically like stock standard, but it's really 5s are tournament lists. 5s are built to be played in a tournament. 4s are typically you know, still built to be played with your friends, but just balls to the walls. 4s are made in a vacuum, whereas 5 is made in a meta. I agree with that statement from Helios. All right, where are we at on this ad break? Okay, I think we're about done. Shadow Walker, hit me with that personal question, my friend. I think if you pull up the reserved list on Scryfall sort by price, nearly the first 80 cards are CEDH staples. I agree with that. I'm simply so I'm not disagreeing that CEDH does revolve around the reserve list. I'm saying most of the 4s that I have seen personally also revolve around the reserve list. I think your statement on snail videos watched leading to 3s being built needs elaboration, because you know damn well I've never submitted a 3 and I've seen the entire catalog of his videos. Troper, that's because you put a restriction on your own Nen. I think the most common thing you do is build a deck that could be a 3 if you were not worried about hurting someone else's feelings. And I think that is a distinct thing from your ability to build a 3. But basically, like, every time we've gone through one of your decks and I'm like, hey, this post is very loud. every time we go through one of your decks and I'm like, hey, why did we do this wacky shit? You're like, oh, I didn't want to be too mean. I'm like, it's not too mean, it's just a good synergy. So like, I think you're a good deck builder who is horrifyingly concerned with making sure everybody has a good time, which is like a good quality about a person, but you can't take it too far. Troper Lee. Yeah. You're just Troper Lee, and one day we're going to get the ankle weights taken off. Locking the RL at 5 while disallowing them at 4 prevents deck backsliding, while 1 is permanently protected to be in the meme zone because silver cards visually demonstrate the jokes. I think that is an over-aggressive solution for a problem that doesn't exist. Like 4 and 5, like most of the confusion about 4 and 5 are just coming from people who don't play at this level anyway. We really don't need that clear of a separation between 4 and 5, because the people who are playing at high power know they're not playing CEDH, and the people who are playing CEDH know they're playing CEDH. Like, this is a lot of people being being really pedantic, which makes sense because as a community we are basically built on pedantry, and we all really like the details being in order. And so Kush, what do you want a hard rule for? Is my question. Like, I can't, because I've played at these levels too, and I've never once been confused. Like, I've seen some people who, without any exposure to CEDH, mistakenly believe that their like homebrew upgraded precon is a CEDH deck, and I think that's just an issue of like, sometimes you just got to get smacked in the face to understand that you're not actually bringing super powerful shit. But I think there's a ton of just like, I don't know, man, most 4s, 99% of commanders can rocket 4. I know the difference between 4 and the semi-firm meta of 50-ish decks that define CEDH, but I am rocking an untrusted play. So I like you've said true facts, and I still do not understand the problem that we are trying to solve. Like, really, particularly for the world does not explode if you play a CEDH deck in a pot of force. Also, maybe if you have like one CEDH stacks deck and everyone else brought like Turbo 4 decks, the Turbo players get sad. But it seems like we want the definition just for the sake of having a better definition, and not because the definition makes anything more usable. Also, Night Corey and Zorito168, thank you for the Twitch follows. Welcome to the doghouse. Too many people are thinking that they have level 4 decks and are afraid of it being mistaken as CEDH, both thoughts being silly. Cluster, I believe that for sure. I think that Game Changers, while powerful, are a tier below Reserve List power. Even the Reserve List, if we collated them, would be twice the Game Changers list. I think plenty of Reserve List cards are. I'm sure there's a few stinkers, but this again seems like a lot of... We're saying a lot of facts that don't really matter as to why this definition needs to be firmer. Personal question. What do you think about abilities like Captain Howler's for use in politics? Let's look. So whenever you discard, you can buff something else. I think it's kind of cool, but I think it's incredibly niche because you're not giving a toughness boost. You are unlikely. So let me walk through the situations in which you could try to Gaslight Gatekeep Girl Boss with Captain Howler's ability. The most powerful one is you have a way to wheel. And you hold a wheel, and you wheel on someone else's turn to buff someone else's creature to get to lethal. Or you build a like free cycler deck, and then you cycle a ton of cards. I think if you had access to discarding 7 cards and getting plus 14 plus 0, you would basically always rather do it on your turn in the combat step to win with your creatures. Maybe it's a fallback if you get like blown out. Also, holy shit, it's Magic's #1 E-Boy. Shout out the GOAT 3-3 Elk for the raid. Nobody talk about Caradora. Caradora a bitch. Caradora a whole bitch. So basically any situation in which you could do this meaningfully, you would rather just do it for you rather than do someone else. I think there's something to be said for like limited one-off Discord outlets. And then maybe you do that to like make a creature trade, but I doubt you really do it as politics. Sleepy, a great place you can go to get help with the deck is my free Discord. We have a section that is built around deck help, and it's built around free deck help with some very knowledgeable community members. So if you need help just getting a deck off the ground, go to, it should either in the link tree in my TikTok page or in my channel description on YouTube, or if you come to Twitch chat and do exclamation point Discord, that will give you an invite to our free Discord. You can go in, ask for help in the deck help section. Yeah, Ethel, I that makes sense. You can't really bargain with it. Like, it's fun, and it does allow you to take game actions on other people's turns. But I don't really see this as like a politicking piece. Zorito, hit me with that personal question, and then maybe we finally get into doing Crab's deck roasting stream. From a person who's still pretty darn new, there seems to be a valley between 3 and 4. Also between 4 and 5, shouldn't they add another slot in that section to make it even out more than just the first 3, then big jumps? So Nut, I'm going to try to be reasonable. But I think everybody in the world thinks there's a crazy big jump somewhere. My jump of choice is, I think it's between 2 to 3. But at this point, I have seen like well-crafted arguments for literally every single one being the big jump. And so I think at that point we just argue to go. I think this is better than having more brackets. I think fewer brackets are better because this system, if successful, should force people to talk more. A lot of people want it to be more granular in order to have less friction when you actually get to the table, and that would be a failure of the system. For this system to work, it needs to be high friction. Like, it needs to be a little bit annoying to do its job. If it's not annoying at all and you just sit down at the table and you're like, yeah, let's pretend we had an extra bracket in between everything, and this was a 9 bracket system. And you were just like, yeah, I'm a 7, whatever, no questions asked, sit down, let's play. That goes worse than going, okay, well, I'm mostly a 3, but I need to explain this one thing. Because if we have more brackets, like the just shuffle up and play approach only really works at 4. I think shuffle up and run it works at 4 and 5, but there's so much like nuance and gray area in 1 through 3 that 1 through 3 you basically always need to have like a 2-sentence explanation of what your deck is doing, and you have to be using it as a communication tool. In 4 and 5, the decks are almost always so powerful that you just go like, yeah, fuck it. NGL, what I want is a system where everyone can sit and go, everyone grab a 4. I mean, congratulations, you have it. It's in front of you on the screen. That's what we did with Joe Johnson today. Motherfucker sat down, grabbed his Eldrazi deck, and went, this is a 4. And we all went bet. Like, this is the... Like, we shouldn't be breaking out additional brackets because brackets 1 through 3 do benefit heavily from having additional elaboration. 4 is just like, yo, yeah, box. What the fuck are we talking about? Like 4 and 5, you need basically no discussion. 1 through 3, you basically always need discussion, and trying to shortcut that discussion is going to be worse, not better. Zorito, you're good. So let me get back to that personal question. Hey Mauld, I'm only just getting into Magic the Gathering, and I was wondering where the best place to start would be. I got Secret Santa to Sauron Precon, but I'm not sure what I could feasibly play against with that. I feel like most of my friends have a way higher power of cards than I do. What would be reasonable things to cut out? So I can't tell you specific stuff from the Sauron Precon. I can tell you that if you watch 50 hours of my VODs, you will slowly but surely get a generalized idea of what things I think are bad and what things I think are good. The number one thing I'm going to recommend to you is get comfortable with proxying. Proxying is taking a service like MTG Print Hold on. This doesn't look like the right site. Oh, it's this one. So you can take a site like this, you can type in cards, and then it will give you card versions that you can print out. Is it like Sea Scourge? You do need the whole card name. You can't be a total idiot like me. So then you can print this card out, and then you can slide it in front of a sleeve. And like, when I went to play with Joe Johnson today, I was like, oh, my cards aren't good enough. I need some stuff that's going to be good enough to compete with what he's doing. So like, what I did is I took some bad cards like Cultivate, and hey, look at that. What a cool Deadly Rollick I have. And that allowed me to somewhat keep up with Joe. And then when I want to play in lower power, hey look, this is Tree Shaker Chimera, a super expensive 8/5 that is not nearly as good as totally free exile removal in the context of high power games. So, but it also depends on, like, you have to build for the type of gameplay experience you want. If you put in a bunch of good cards just because they're good, you're going to inevitably end up with like pretty boring 3s and 4s, and they're not going to be very satisfying to you, and you're just going to have a lot of like generically good cards in the deck that don't actually bring you joy. I don't know what printer we have, Switch. But what I would do is the broad concepts you want to try to maximize as a new player are you want agency. You want to be able to do things ideally on each turn. Sometimes the thing you're doing is passing while holding up mana to cast an interaction spell like this very real Deadly Rollick. Sometimes that's playing your commander. Sometimes it's ramping. But you generally want a deck where you have the right mana values in place. Like your mana curve is a very important concept. Let's look at like a random deck before I subject myself to whatever Crab has built. So you see like this curve right here. This is how many cards they have at each mana value. Having a lot of cards at 2 and 3 pretty much guarantees that your opening hand is going to have stuff you can do. Not every curve needs to look like this, but if, for example, your deck is full of 5 mana and up cards, and you don't have a lot of ways to put lands into play, or you don't have a lot of mana rocks, or really just a lot of ways to make mana, period, you're not going to have a lot of stuff to do. You're going to be waiting like a loser, and then you're going to die. And so agency also extends to, do you have cards that remove other people's problematic cards? Like, again, and I must stress this very real Deadly Rollick. If you don't have those, and your opponent just gets luckier than you do, you're going to lose the game just staring at them either combo off or synergy off in your face. And then you want a deck that has a way that it feels confident it's going to win. Howdy, it's the commenter who thirsts over all of the commanders you've roasted recently, but I have a different question. What commander would you least want to share a mid-90s barbershop with? I think gotta be this guy. Specifically this art, but this guy for sure. Like, he's going to be an absolute bitch to me, and we have the same amount of hair, and he's still going to be making fun of my hairline somehow. We're not talking about whether or not he's hot. We're talking about whether or not he's fun to sit in a barber shop in. Get your brain out of the gutter, elk. Like, I think this dude is mean girl as fuck, and not in a good way. I think there are areas where genericism is good for a deck even when it's hipster as fuck. Yeah, every deck needs vegetables. Like, I think as much as you want... Oh, I can't tell you this because you and Snail, I finally have one fucking idea that might be original and I can't say it out loud or you and Snail are going to say it first. So, yeah, you know what? I agree. We'll see what my video on it's like. You little bitch. You little bitch. Tell him who sent you. Pour some salt on that man, courtesy of me. I swear to God, I'm going to open up YouTube. I'm going to open up YouTube and Snail's title is going to be the one thing I think was an original idea. Spooky Spoofy, thank you for the 100-bit cheer. Welcome to the doghouse, my friend. Welcome to the dog pile. Rand Cart, Roxa Sure's Loser, Dispersado, Officially Trash, an Electric Soap Dish, and Shiny Circus, thank you for the Twitch follows. Welcome to the doghouse, my friends. And EB90, thank you for the Prime sub. Welcome to the dog home, my friend. Exotic Show, thank you for the Twitch follow. D-Man, thank you for the 10-bit cheer. Welcome to the pile. Do you think you beat Tassiger on the JM ranking system? No, I don't think anyone does. This is the archetypal twink. Roxa Sure's Loser, thank you very much for the Prime sub. Welcome to the dog home, my friend. I appreciate those Jeffrey dollars. You haven't seen Snail made that video 3 months ago. I don't think he has, because the only idea I have about it is related to fun, and Snail touches on like satisfaction a lot, but he doesn't talk about it in the same way I talk about it. And I presume Elk's videos are mostly just them going, huh? And so I don't think that Elk's talked about it this way either. Gulanoth and Remy says, thank you for the Twitch follows. Welcome to the doghouse, my friends. Spooky Spoofy, thank you for the 40 bits. Welcome to the dog pile, my friend. Hey, maybe let's do the actual thing. Domichi D&D, thank you for the 40-bit cheer for the on-screen squawks. We got a random smasher pass and a follow from Tinker Kitty. And Sigmar Grindset. Amazing name. Flame Javelin. It's got to be a pass, bro. What are we talking about? No. There's nothing to smash or pass to. There's a giant flame javelin coming at us. BDSM exists, okay? Don't be a Quaker. Don't be a Quaker. Yeah, we're not sounding with the flame javelin. Well, there's Giara Spear Hurler. She can probably get it, but she's not the card. John, are you a 1-1 human or do you live this? So, Arya, here's the answer. I definitely don't live this. There's no fucking way I'm a 1-1 human because I'm 6'4", 220. If I'm a 1-1, the rest of you die to state-based actions. So I can't be a 1-1, but I'm definitely like... I'm like a 2-2 human or something. I think a 2-2. Because I can definitely... Like, I'm definitely stronger than most of the general population, and I'm definitely more durable than most of the general population. I don't think I'm strong enough to qualify as a 3-3. Lions are a 2-2? Hey, August Leo. What's up? I wouldn't even need to fight that lion. They would just accept me as one of their own. Space Marines are a 2/2. Shame they're not built like me, bro. Shame. Looks like I'm Space Marine. Knox, thank you very much for the 5 gifted community subs. Welcome to Dog Heaven, my friend. You get 1 power for every 100 pounds you can bench press. Then I would be a 2/2. My bench press max is 250. Bears don't even know how to bench press though, so I think bears get retconned to 0/2 in that archetype. 99% of humans would lose in a fight to a juvenile deer. This is copium. Yeah, except I'm handling the deer, bro. What's it gonna do? Hey, elk, when are we dropping that footage? When are we dropping that footage, huh? What keyword would you like to see come back in the next set? I would love if we could get interesting ninjutsu. I think every ninjutsu commander has been an abject failure of being interesting with ninjutsu as a keyword. Like every ninjutsu commander has just been like, hey, what if we do this other thing, but I do ninjutsu at some point? Is interesting ninjutsu possible? It honestly may not be. It may not be. It may be like the mechanic where I like it, but it just doesn't get to be cool. What about Goru and Satoru? That commander has been poisoned for me because I thought it was cool before I had played against it, and the first time I played against it, the person that played it was really super not cool. And I am not immune to bias, and so that experience definitely gave the commander bad memories for me. So like mechanically makes sense. Big Blue Shoes and Tree Reage, thank you for the Twitch follow. Welcome to the Doghouse, my friend. Isn't Maldhound one of the new 2/6 vanilla legendaries? My ass is not that big, but I appreciate all of you. Is there any commander biases for the week? Do not talk that loudly, Arya. You are biased against having a good time. Is there any commander game action or memory that was peak salt that you will never ever forget? My girlfriend using Fierce Guardianship into 3 visits. So for those of you who don't recognize the cards I just said, this is a free counterspell if you have your commander. Very powerful card. Very important. They used this against this card, which was search for a forest, put it onto the battlefield. They used this while, across the table from them, this Vorinclex had been resolved, which doubles counters entering. When this player, I said, "Are you sure?" They said, "Hell yeah, I'm sure." And then this player untapped, played this Ugin, immediately ulted them and won the game. Immediately ulted them, put down 5 more planeswalkers who ulted instantly. W. Raps93, thank you for the Twitch follow. Welcome to the Doghouse, my friend. Aries FPS, thank you for the Twitch follow. Welcome to the Doghouse, my friend. But did you get the force? No, because it got counterspelled. You fiend to counter the ramp. So listen, I don't fiend to counter the rampant growth when a bigger green offender is in front of me. It was a great play, though. I still refer to it as the incident. We'll be like, whenever we're out to dinner with people, I'm like, yeah, things have been going pretty great, except for the incident. And then I tell that story again. Runic Lore, thank you for the Twitch follow. Welcome to the doghouse, my friend. Shiny Circus, hey, do you want to know the secret to getting your own Vorinclex? Check this out. Ooh. Oh. Oh, what happened? It's whatever card you want. Listen, turn that over. I got you a Vorinclex. I got you a Vorinclex right here, bro. Put the incident in my vows? That's a good one. D-Man, thank you for the 20-bit cheer. Proxying Maulhound, the Pinkertons are on their way. I mean, so Wizards has said that they're... Okay, yeah. We're edging crab. All right. We're going to stop edging crab. Yeah, stores not allowing proxies does make sense because Wizards will be bitches to them about it. So without further ado, probably, wait, I have it over here. We're going to move into the deck roasting for today. My supporters have sent me a deck list, a primer, and a power rating. We do not use the brackets. We do not use 1 through 10. We use the silly to spooky to scary rating originally developed by Danny Phantom EXE. This is a measure of how ominous your turns are to somebody that has played Magic the Gathering and is paying attention to your game. Your primer is a paragraph about how you think the deck plays or how you want it to play. Aria, no, I've not been yapping randomly for 66 minutes. Shut up! And is the main thing I'm going to judge your deck on. Now, if you want me to help edit your deck to fit into a WotC bracket, we can do that. I'm just not going to take it into account because the Mox Field and Architect, the auto bracket analyzers are the worst shit ever. So we're not going to use them. So first, we have Crab's Spooky deck. Lathril uses her army of knife-eared bean counters to commit tax fraud to an absurd degree. I already fucking hate this. Lathril, but X equals how much better I am than mauled at Hades in seconds. Fuck you! No! Okay. So for those of you that don't know, one of my patrons, Dr. Crab, one of my patrons, cheats at Hades. They've made a veritable career out of faking Hades and Hades 2 screenshots to pretend that they're much, much better than me at the game and that they can beat my Hades speedruns by multiple minutes, which we know is not physically possible. So here's your goddamn Lathril deck, which I'm sure is totally different from every other Lathril deck. Or maybe not. Okay, we have the very standard interaction list. You know what? So brave of you to not put Deadly Rollick in here. So fucking brave of you to not have Deadly Rollick. Wow. Wow. We really needed the bling. Okay. Totally irresponsible card draw section. Save for Skull Clamp, which we will somehow magically draw every game because we're Lathril. Check. Drip. Forest Walk. Real of you. This one, real. If you're fucking up other green players, I will allow this. Wait, the Rollick is there? I'm so dumb. My vision hasn't even come back yet from the anger at Crab reminding me about their lies in Hades. So you're not better. You're just as bad as I thought you were. Okay, a bunch of unblockability. He's not bald, but his hairline probably ain't much better than Maul's under that headgear. Alright, you piece of shit. Alright, you piece of shit. Yavi Maya's in here? I'm no longer cool with this card. I'm no longer chill. Now this bracket 2 shit is taunting me. I know I said I wasn't going to talk about it because it's wrong. This bracket 2 bullshit is taunting me. Average precon right here, folks. Average fucking precon right here. Yeah, you need this. Victims of an MLM scheme. Okay. I was about to say, like, well, man, at least if we don't have Jaheira, and then what do I scroll to? Fucking Jaheira. Gaia's Cradle at home. True. So what, we have like 5 Gaia's Cradles? We have 4 Gaia's Cradles, and then half a Gaia's Cradle. Oh, Jesus. Bond of Agony is kind of funny. You're definitely not going to win me back over because so many of these are Hydras, but Bond of Agony where you pay X is pretty funny. I don't even know why we would Black Sun Zenith when we're going to be the goddamn problem. Damnable Pact. This is blue shit. See, this is the one. This is the one where I'm going to crash out. This is the one where I'm going to start talking about how I need one-sided Armageddon in bracket 2. Okay, a million Hydras. Yes, yes. I die to the snakes. Whatever. Get to the next movie. I've seen this Harry Potter film before. And we have fucking walking I was about to say, I don't even know if you get the elves to make these work, and then I forgot that Lathril just turbo pregnancies new elves into existence. So let's see how easy the green players have it. We cannot even fix our colors. But green players don't get mulligans in this stream. So, here we go. That's what I'm fucking talking about. 1 colorless, Cope and Seethe. Where's the other one? 2 colorless, Cope and Seethe. You stupid bitch. Excellent. We blow up our own land. We blow up our own war room with Ghost Quarter, the 3rd colorless land of this game, to get ourselves 1 forest in a vain attempt to play Magic on turn 5. You fucking idiot. Why are we... X is equal to 1. You've beaten me by 1 second in Hades. Hey, there we go. Turn 7. Can we cast our commander? Hell no, but we can cast Tyvar. What does he do? Nothing. Okay. And we could have made a second elf from Tyvar. So turn 9, we will have fixed our colors from Lathril. Let's see if this is any better. You still don't get any mulligans. Because you still don't deserve any. God damn it. No 2-drops? No 1-drops? Who fucking needs them? The Ghost Quarter is a little bit less ridiculous this game. So we'll black market. We'll lose all the life. I don't know. Treasure elf card. Then probably Lathril it up. Discard this dumbass removal. We're not going to do that. We have 2 more other lands. We will do Treasure Shapeshifter. Then we probably play this guy. Swing Lathril. Start shitting elves. Treasure. Shapeshifter. So this guy taps for 7 right now. Exceedingly normal. Exceedingly normal. So we can... I think we rip all this mana. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 11 mana, which means X equals 10, into Termagant Swarm. We get to draw 1, and we make... Oh, this is on death. Okay. So we just have a 10-10 now. Next turn. So let's talk about why game changers aren't the only thing you need to be worried about. Let's talk about why game changers are not the only thing you need to be looking out for when it comes to an elf ball deck specifically. Crab sent this in because he knew it would cause me harm, because it causes me harm on a daily basis. How free life is for elves. How free life is for these stupid ass, leech ass knife ears. Do you think these elves have worked a day in their lives? No, they haven't. Look at the playtest. All this elf did was lay down. All this elf did was watch a hard-working, upstanding, honest Tyrannid die. And then it laid down about it. Disgusting. And what do they get for it? Torment of Hailfire for X equals 18, 19. And that is what I presume is 18 colorless lands just to upset me, notwithstanding. How many do we have? You chump-ass motherfucker. You absolute fucking buffoon. You know you're always going to be able to pay for your commander. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So we have 9. We have 25% of our lands just totally fucking pip screw us. So Crab, talk to me, Crab. Do you actually want me to make this deck better? Or do you just want to give me acid reflux? Because you've succeeded in one category. I think the primary way we could improve your life is by setting this deck on fire and enrolling you in rehab. But you've certainly done something. The second point is the goal. If you have suggestions, I'll take them, though. So the number one thing, well, not the number one. I don't know if I have a number one thing to suggest. I would say 19 is a lot when our primary payoff is me get big creature, me no have way to turn big creature into big mana. This is not necessarily a reason to put in something like Selvala or Bighorn or Rancher, but you have a lot of payoffs that would be better for a Selvala deck than it would be for a I'm making my mana by getting, like, your board makes mana by getting really, really wide. And a lot of your X payoffs are just like really not even in the same neighborhood as the others. I do agree with what Arya is saying about Open the Way and Awaken the Woods. These are really, really good, like, moderate cast X spells. Hydras are fun for you, I guess, but most of the Hydras that you could cast, if you cast this at like level, or if you cast this at like X equals 3, holy fuck, do you not care? Holy fuck, do we not? We only care about doing that for the death trigger on Hooded Hydra. Like Hungering Hydra, this is kind of good at holding people back as a blocker, but we have so many, or not so many, we have a couple X spells that are so much better than the other X spells that we have that it does feel kind of like troll behavior. It feels like half of the time we are waiting for Exsanguinate or Exponential Growth on a Trampler, or waiting for what is the, it's like green and X, but it gives everything plus whatever. Like, you have Torment of Hailfire. This ship has sailed on we're doing silly bullshit to win. Oh, why can't I fucking, because it's not, yeah, Finale of Devastation. Like, Finale of Devastation works for you at both high values and low values, because at low values, if you do not yet have, if you're missing one half of the I tap for 1,000,000 mana when I have a lot of elves, or the other half of I need 1,000,000 elves to make all this mana with, Finale of Devastation goes and gets that for not too expensive of a cost. And then if you have a ton of mana, this ends the game. Like what I talked about in relation to a way, way worse deck that we saw yesterday was you either want your build-up or your payoff to be responsible. And you can make the other thing less responsible, but you at least want it to all kind of be like the same level within that. Like, if you just wanted to do big Hydras, I think just big Hydras would be fine, and then you kind of do like almost into a 1. In terms of the WotC bracket, like, it's basically Torment of Hailfire, Exsanguinate, and honestly, like, Walking Ballista are so much better than Neverwinter Hydra that I struggle to believe they belong in the same deck. And so I would either like make a Hydra's deck, probably with Selvala as the commander instead, or I would start cutting a lot of these in favor of, you do need some goddamn, I mean, like, whether or not you do 3 visits, the land playouts were fucking ridiculous in this deck. My brother in Christ, you were getting pip screwed like nobody I have seen in my life. And so a lot of these cards that do nothing but say X on them would be better served as being a build-up card to making the do something X cards really, really go off. So there's This is, I don't think Patriarch's Seal is the right one. Because this only, yeah, this only works on legendaries. Is it 1,000-year elixir? Yeah, this is one of the ones where it's going to untap. The pip screwing is a thing that I know how to solve and chose not to. Who's that for, dude? Who's the pip screwing for? Unless you personally subject yourself to 0 mulligans. If you crab as a player are like, I never mulligan, some games I just sit out, I get that. Otherwise, it's like it's making the deck hard to balance for no benefit is what pip screwing yourself does. It is a very good bit for giving me a headache while we're on stream. But in terms of actual play pattern of the deck, giving yourself a... So this is for anybody. If you want to power down your deck through the land base, what you do is you play lands that always enter tapped no matter what you do. So that is stuff like the Triome lands, if you're in 3-color or 4-color. I don't remember the name of the 2-color lands that always enter tapped. I know some of the snow ones do, but if you want to power down your deck through the mana base, you just do lands that always enter tapped because they force you to play a turn behind curve instead of on curve or a turn ahead. If you power yourself down by okay, so it is just a bit. Then I trust you to fix this. Stop fucking doing this. And then let's look at the list of things Arya has said. Genesis Wave. TBH, I only like Genesis Wave if you put in something like Endray's Forerunners. Or even more appropriately, Craterhoof Behemoth. If you have a creature based out, then Genesis Wave is great. If you do not also add in a creature based out, I am not actually up on Genesis Wave, because then it's just you resolving a million triggers, and it's like, hey, somebody's jacking off in aisle 8 of the Lego store again. Awake in the Woods we've already covered is great. I really like Outrageous Robbery because theft is based as hell. It's not only a good strategy to play, it's a really good test to see if these people deserve to be your friend or not. Let's see what Killing Wave does. I don't like this as much, but is probably responsible. Oh, this would be, yeah, this one's hot. I agree with Arboreal Alliance a huge amount. Jomibug, we do want max elves, but so far we're not actually that good at making the elf tokens. TBH at this point, Crab's missing, Crab got so deep in the fucking elf game, bro just needs Knight's Whisper, dude. We just need some honest to goodness card touching. Like Phyrexian Arena, yeah, fine. Season of Growth is fucking made up. We have one spell in the deck that's targeting our own creature, and that's Tyvar's Stand. Oh, we can also draw a card off Deadly Dispute. But Scry 1, I kept drawing Skull Clamp in the playtesting that I forgot I'm not getting it often. That's true. Skull Clamp is a fickle mistress. Skull Clamp is really, really good at making you believe that your deck has good card draw. True, we have Beast Whisperer. I mean, Debo, the thing to consider is we're not actually casting that many creatures. We're casting a couple. We are just speed running, giving birth to an entire elven society, and then we're turning them sideways. We're not actually hard casting a ton of creatures. It was on the list of I'll fix this later, and then I got sclamp enough times I forgot it was on the list. You fucking maniac. Emerald Medallion and Jet Medallion I do think are made up. I think they're fake and not good in this deck because we either have access to 1,000,000 mana or we need access to a pip. Like, this should be a talisman. This should be the Golgari talisman and a Yanawar elf stat. Just instantly. Sorry, Lanawar Elfin. Bertel, baby, thank you for the Twitch follow. Welcome to the doghouse. You know what I mean, Crab. Like, it should be a dork and a talisman instead of these medallions, because once you get over the hump of I can actually cast my spells, the deck, I hope, goes off. But given the lack of yeah, so like, holy God, do we want these 4 cards to be different right now? Torment of Hailfire? Hey, it's come a little early, but like, great card. Green Sun's Twilight? We can use that to get one of our important elves. Season of Growth, not about to do a goddamn thing except let us scry 2. Hangerback Walker, not doing anything until we have basically infinite money. Bond of Agony is just us shooting ourselves in the dick as a haha funny time. And Hungering Hydra also not doing anything for you. So all of these cards you would rather have had, like Mana Dork, Ramp Spell, Evasion Piece for Lathril, generic card draw spell. And then you hold on to these better ones. And then, like we talked about, the other direction that you can go is if you go like, oh, well, this seems too try hard. I don't want to be this sweaty. Then you have to go to just shitty Hydras. If we want to do, okay, I don't want to do a try hard Torment of Hailfire deck. The deck has to be all this dog. Not even Season of Growth still. Honestly, not even Season of Growth. This one's so bad. But we should be on like a consistent level of how heinous. Bond of Agony. Okay, I'll agree. I'll see my way to that one at least being like moderately useful if Lathril gets you a lot of mana through lifelink. But our X spells, we got to decide if we're doing corny X spells or if we're doing good X spells, and we got to commit. Helios and Jomibug are asking for Sword of the Squeak. It's a bit win more, but it's not. Yeah, like I see it. I see the vision. And I think if there was any archetype that was summed up in the phrase win more, it's Elf Ball. Put Pact of the Serpent on stream, please. Oh, yeah. Yeah, you put Pact of the Serpent in for sure. So we replaced some of these shithead Hydras with Pact of the Serpent. Defiler of Vigor becomes quite good once we replace a lot of the Hydras with more just straight up elves. We're not putting Hatred in even once 420 Templar. Altar of Symmetry. Crazy. Doesn't exist. I didn't misspell it. You did. Shut up. Crazy. Doesn't exist. Zophiana, I will never advocate for somebody to put a Planeswalker in their deck, so no. I think Lathril does do that much. It just doesn't look like it when you do... Like, where I think Lathril does a lot is if you sit down and you play at an actual table where people are not paying attention the first 3 turns of a game. Like, if we fast forward to turn 4, everyone has been checking their phone, making poop jokes about their commanders, and saying, oh, that person played a mana rock, they're ahead, get them. And then turn 5, we're swinging with like a Shadow Spear Lathril. Then off rip, we have 3 elves. Now in reality, it's taken us 5 turns to make 3 elves. In table vision, in casual commander vision, this is turn 2. Turn 2 we've made 4 elves. Because the average commander player's brain just straight up skips over everything that happens in the first 3 turns of a game. Overall, I think it is like, honestly, kind of real of you to make a Lathril deck that doesn't care about Lathril's second effect. Holy fuck, am I tired of that second effect. In terms of the... equipments, I do echo that, like, Sword of the Animist would be better in here. And especially if we're trying to do something in a concise way. And if we're trying to do something in a concise way, doing the, like, Sword of Fuck and You. God, not for this deck, but that would be ridiculous. But, like, any of these swords. Not necessarily Feast and Famine in general, but any type of protection, any type of effect that happens when you hit in any type of +2/+2, are going to be a lot better because you basically need to be in a position where Lathril can only swing once, and that's still going to be fine for you because holy shit is the table not going to let you swing with Lathril multiple times. And we have, thankfully, a ton of room for this because we have like 15 X spells that we can cut. Keon, this is the first deck of the day and it's already hurting me because Crab built an elf ball deck specifically to make me mad. Oh, so you have your untappers here. You have your untappers here. So I would take the 15 extra deck slots that you have. Mathematically, it doesn't look like you should need too much more ramp because your curve is so low. But we probably want a few more Elven Dorks, a few of those card draw spells we talked about. I would honestly probably replace like Dryad's Favor with, or Vorak Battlehorns with a Sword of Fuck and a Sword of You. And then if you want, there's like a couple X spells we can put in. They're going to be better for you. And then Arya has like 50 cards to swap with this. You could do Idol of Oblivion, Jummybug, but I don't think we want to do Idol of Oblivion because if anybody shoots Lathril, Idol of Oblivion stops working. We don't have a lot of other ways to make Elven tokens. We have Elven Ambush. and like one of these hydras that we're gonna cut. Raga Clue, thank you for the Twitch follow. Welcome to the doghouse, my friend. You know what you are, Crab. You know exactly what you are. Kindred summons, I will die on this hill. Maybe? I think this is like right on the precipice of, for this much mana, we should be totally popping off anyway. Like, I think most games, we look at this in our hand and we go, man, I wish I had 7 mana. Or you go, man, well, since I have 300 mana, I guess I can spend 7 of it on this. Greedy, spiteful. I think the deck... I think the deck, as it is, will always work because it is Golgari. And it is Lathril, and holy shit is Lathril good. But you know you're a little bastard, man. Thank you very much for submitting. We need to do another manual ad break, and then we're going to move on to the mighty Roosh's deck. Roosh, are you here? If you are, please sound off. All right, we're back. Has Roosh sounded off yet? I do not believe so, which means we are going to move to Badger King, which Badger King, I know you are here. We still have ads going for just over a minute. So after the next minute finishes, we will move into Roosh's deck. And then Elikman, sleep well, my friend. Lucian Payne on YouTube asks, do we join Patreon to submit decks? That is one way to get in on the roasting. It's not the only way. You can also get roasted through a commission on Ko-Fi. Those are a thing that we stock up every month. The first Sunday of every month, we put 18 in stock. Once those sell out, they're just gone for the month. We might do 2 rounds in March, but this month is too full of travel. Thank you, Jacoby. I appreciate that, my friend. Dungeon Masters Consortium, thank you for the 200-bit cheer. How have you felt about the Selesnya mounts archetype? I feel like it's something new for Selesnya, which I enjoy. If it feels new for you, I'm so happy for you, bestie. To me, it feels like the same Selesnya stuff, just in fursuit. But I've also never really liked the Selesnya game plan in general. I think when you enjoy something, little changes to it can make it feel fresh again. Whereas if you don't like something, a little change to it makes you go, this is still the same bullshit. What are you talking to me about? Like if you don't like fish, right? And I give you salmon versus salmon with dill, you're like, same bullshit. But if you really like seafood and I give you plain salmon, or I give you like salmon with lemon and dill on it, you're like, ooh, what a twist. Oh my, oh Lord. And so I'm kind of like the salmon hater in terms of Selesnya, even though I do fuck with salmon. Not like that, stop. But I do, so with Selesnya, I think the permanent advantage stompy game plan has never been interesting to me. And so seeing it done with a vehicle-esque game plan instead of like the elf or dinosaur game plan is not different enough to make my brain even categorize it as a new thing. Salmon fucker? No! No, dude. They fucking got me. What makes saddling different than crewing? Literally nothing. Literally nothing. Because it's sort of like whatever Selesnya deck you had before versus whatever Selesnya deck you have now, you can really sum up with like, hey, is this 1/1 counters or is it token generation? And I don't think Vehicles has introduced a different concept to that than what already exists, and so my brain just doesn't like... Okay, whatever. Yeah, go off. Call Maldhound a mob hit the way he's sleeping with the fishes. This is nonsense. I am sorry. Walzer, the whole stream is nonsense. Thank you for your contribution. Micah84 and Soulman Gamer, thank you for the Twitch follows. Welcome to the doghouse, my friend. So let's get into the very next deck, which is going to be Badger King. Mighty Roosh, if you are around, please sound off. Otherwise, we're going to keep it pushing. Badger King has sent in a spooky deck, an artifact deck that plays with its toys in the corner until it presents itself as a threat. So it's all of Mald's least favorite archetypes today. The Professor and his Apprentice. When you bang rocks together so hard, they explode. So we have a... Oh, God. Is it landfall? So you have corrupted the greatest archetype in the world to, hey, I have a rock. We have landfall, make a rock equipment creature token, and then we have Glacian, which is tap artifacts to look at the top X, put one into your hand, and the rest into your graveyard. So that's actually kind of... That could... If I see some cool self-mill shit in here, that's going to be kind of hard. I know for a fact we're not about to see some cool self-mill shit, though. Okay, guys. Can we get any Karns in chat? Who thinks we're about to see a fucking Karn lock? Okay, we have funding. We have a bunch of mana rocks. Oh, or Vandal Blast. Porphyry Lives, thank you for the Twitch follow. Welcome to the doghouse. Let's see. Normal. Do we also have Karn? No, we have Yes Togo Kaboom, which this is awesome. I feel like OP casts Vandal Blast, not knowing what Mycosynth Lattice does. They called it the panic button, so like they definitely know. This is a haha creature board wipe and nuclear winter. So then we have a bunch of like feels good. We just have an entire geology department. Like we have everything that cares about artifacts ever. 5 card draw, one of which is Howling Mine, is fucking heinous. I do think more casual. Wait, Karn is there? I missed him? No. I don't think we have a Karn. I will never control F, Arya. Hush. So my thing is, right, we're going to go to the playtest. We always go to the playtest for these. My thing is, right, what the fuck does this deck do? Like, I think on the face of it, this looks like the junk drawer that all of us have in all of our garages. It definitely does some artifact stuff. For the most part, we're making rocks with lands to trash for treasure. So we're doing a lot of trade our rocks for things that we've self-milled. Okay. And then what artifacts are we getting? Unwinding Clock to untap all of our rocks that do nothing because we never tapped them. We could also... Ooh, okay, we could mill Kuldotha Forge Master to get Kuldotha Forge Master by sacrificing a rock, to sacrifice more rocks to get Vedalken Orrery, to cast a tutor for inspiring statuary, so then everything gets improvised with our rocks, and then we cast Howling Mine, and we have finally achieved the card draw of every other Izzet deck in the world. So going back to the primer of an artifact deck that plays with its toys in the corner until it presents itself as a threat, that seems like forever. So let's go. Started from Nevada, now we hear Brass's Bounty. I would call this crazy irresponsible for a spooky deck, but you know what? You definitely get here. Thank you, baby. Oh, you okay?
Yeah.
Z has brought me food and coffee, everyone. Praise them. Praise my girlfriend. You'd be surprised. Okay. All right. Surprise me, daddy. Let me move this coffee. So it's turn 2. Signet. Boom, we're crazy. We play Togo. We play a land. We are playing optimally. I have 1 rock. I presume that this kills an opponent. I presume we throw this at somebody's head and it wins the game. Next turn. Boom. 2 rocks. What the fuck are they going to do to us? Nothing. We play Thought Monitor because he costs 4? Yeah. Costs 4. We draw 2. Amazing. Fuck it, I equip a rock. Land, rock, we're based. This guy. Turn 6. Land, rock. We now have 4 rocks. We can now pick up 1 rock per player and throw it at their head, killing them instantly. Yes, this does in fact include us. Crackle is the win. You got 1 win con in your whole deck that requires you to have $3 million? My brother in Christ. We got the Donald Trump win condition. Rock. I only made 1 because I play 1 land. Talisman. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I tap 6 artifacts, so I get to look at the top 6. 1 of these goes to hand, rest to graveyard. Mirrodin Besieged says I can win the game on it, so I'm going to take that one. I play Solemn Simulacrum, allowing me to fetch an additional island, allowing me to make, you motherfucking guessed it, another rock. It's turn 8. Another rock. We now tap 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We tap 8 artifacts. I'm going to tap Solemn Simulacrum too. I tap a 9th artifact. Here we go. We win. How much mana we got? Okay, we have to wait a turn. So turn 9. Turn 9, we get to try to do something. And the thing we would do is we would give Crackle with Power Improvise. So now all of these rocks are mana rocks. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And then we have 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. So we have 18 mana. So we can do X equals 5. We can deal 25 damage, which at turn 9 is honestly not that bad. So I'll believe you that Crackle with Power can end the game. My question to you is, can literally anything else... Oh, we have a land in hand, so that's 2 more. So we could do 6. We could do X equals 6, because this would make an additional rock. Yeah, Arya, you have it correct. This works very well on anybody who is asleep. But I think, like, this is where we have to just take it to the Gaslighters Council, because I could see this working once. We've had a bunch of nothing creatures the whole game. If somebody board wipes, not even to get us, but just to handle somebody else, we evaporate into nothingness. We do probably at least hold on to our rocks. So I'm trying to... This deck makes me itchy because it has no agency. Like, this is the... I realize some of you like this. I know that Joe Johnson likes this. I'm trying to have an open mind, but I can't stand it when a motherfucker goes, yeah, I showed up for the potluck. Is it okay if I go jerk it in the corner for 20 minutes? Because the things we can do to protect what this deck is already trying to do, there are some very, like, low investment, no change things, like propaganda. Propaganda doesn't work against good players, but this deck won't work against good players anyway. And so I'm inclined to include propaganda just because the sleepy time good night players that this deck will work against anyway, propaganda will also work against. We have Yeah, a ton of cards that are built to profit off of the deck already doing well rather than built to make the deck do well in the first place. Like Unwinding Clock, the internet told you to put this in. Like the internet absolutely told you to put this shit in. We do not have a way to like make our artifacts matter very much outside of the Candyland world in which we have a shitload of rocks, we have Unwinding Clock, and we have Vedalken Orrery. And even if we live in that world, we do not have the card draw to support it outside of Shimmer Dragon. And if you get Crackle with if you get Crackle with Power Counterspell, do you disappear into the ether like a ghost? Like, do you just get exorcised like a bad spirit? As Templar is saying, we could do like every fetch land. Even the ones that like, because I don't think you don't even care about playing on curve. You just care about getting landfall for your Toggo trigger. I pilot the deck very carefully. I jork it very slowly and responsibly. I have Lier for that. So Badger King, I need you to understand that what we're not about to have is a conversation where you go, well, one card in the deck can counter other people being mean to me like they're going to be every single turn. Because we can do that literally all day. You have Lier? Oh my god, somebody cast Fell on them, bro. We can do this until the end of time, and the deck does not get any more responsible. You have Lier? That's crazy. Fell. You cast Mana Drain? That's crazy. I follow it up with Infernal Grasp. So for stuff that's like actually going to help without going into the like 1-for-1 into eternity is there's a lot of like really bad cards that this deck could play well. So there's like Bad River. This doesn't even do it on the one turn, and it keeps you behind curve. Like, I want to be so clear. The name is appropriate. This is a Bad River. It is not a powerful card. It does, however, get you an extra land drop for Toggo. And so we want to get a lot of things that are going to make your deck work really reliably with just the command zone. Because what we can do is we can operate on the assumption that people probably are not freaking out about just Toggo. People in this deck, if I'm playing at your table, I'm going to get worried when you say, hey, my kid bought a ton of Legos, and it just so happens that my other commander can turn Legos into card advantage. That would make me nervous. You saying, my goblin has some Legos, I'm not going to crash out. And so I think to some degree we can work around Toggo's going to get a lot of work done. There's also, as much as I hate to fucking say it, bounce lands are good here. Taking your lands back is a good thing here. So is it Boilerworks, the Soul Ring land? This is all fine because you want as many land drops as possible. I don't think Encroaching Mycosynth and Mycosynth Lattice do literally anything for you outside of the Vandal Blast nuclear option. And I don't even, like, I think this is the worst possible deck you could have that nuclear option in because it guarantees, like, all this says is for 2 cards, everyone can be mad at me for a week. Because you still need a lot of time. Like, you don't want to be blowing up the spot. You want to be little beaning your way through the game. And what you actually want is you want to be the, like, group hug interaction counterspeller. You want to be the guy who's, like... You want to be holding on to your counterspells or, like, your reality shifts as long as possible. and you want to be trying to make deals with people to be like, ooh, it looks like a 15-15 is coming at your face. Do you want me to handle that? I'll do it if you promise not to swing at me for 5 more turns, because I'm a little baby. And they won't agree with that, but they'll agree to like 2 turns or 3 turns or something. I think Mirrodin Besieged right now is removal bait, but not in the like these. Actually, holy fuck! You have Millennium. I didn't even read this one. We have Millennium Calendar. So these are removal bait, but not in the way you want. These are not removal bait that are going to make people say, "Oh, I need to." No one's going to look at that and go, "Oh shit, I need to stroke that guy." What's going to happen is you're going to play Millennium Calendar. Somebody's going to spend 5 seconds doing napkin math, and the green player's going to go, oh, well, if I kill him right now, nothing bad happens. And then they're going to snap your little neck. Funny, I see, Makiru, it's cute with Glacian, but it does not happen fast enough to be worth putting in the deck. Like these cards just say, kill me fast. So I would not recommend having them in the deck. We do want other ways to try to... Let's see if we can get anything like interesting. Oh, hold on. That's not commander colors. I'm looking for exactly is it. I mean, improvise is part of it. God, this would be so bad. But if we were making this as a draft deck, God, Braided Net would be funny. To just draw a shitload of cards off your rocks. But that would be a draft level deck. Okay. Bastion Inventor is also a draft level deck. Bottle Cap Blast. I will agree with Arya. It could go in the deck. It is extremely cute, but it does function and is interaction that you desperately, desperately need. You need a lot of one-off interaction to try to convince people that like not a lot is happening yet. This is another way to get yourself killed really quickly, but it would be a very powerful individual card. You would you would die so fast. You would die so fast. I like Aether Grid a lot because this gives you a road into having creature control, especially if we begin having fetch lands or if we begin having bounce lands. Being able to direct this, I'm going to make this distinct from Sunshot Militia because I believe Sunshot Militia is to a player. Yeah, Sunshot Militia says, make everybody angry at me. Girapur Aether Grid says, I can now be kind of a creature control player. Resonance Technician looks like... Oh, Reverse Engineer. Hold on. Cookery. So this is a card draw spell that you should have. This is a card draw spell that becomes useful for you when it starts out. Oh, it's in the deck. I'm dumb. Where is it in the deck? It's not in your card draw section. Oh, something else. Something else. Okay. And then again, things like Xiao Jun, we are going to get to the animate artifacts. The eventual truth of this deck is yes, every rock is going to become a 4/4 and throw itself at somebody's head. And that is how we're going to buff out the win con section. But we're not even at the win con section yet. We are just at the like, make this shit work good. And then we just toss those 3 cards in at the end, and then the deck's better. Yodia declares war does make me laugh. Deal $1 billion to somebody's commander. I don't think it's good enough. I don't think it's good enough to keep in like a real commander deck. This is another like draft level card that would just be silly in your deck. But for sure, reverse engineer. And then this definitely feels less good, but would be workable somehow. Like if you're stuck, this will really turn things up for you. And if you are casting a lot of artifacts, you will get extra artifact fodder, which will work for all the improvised stuff you're doing. Any love for Junkwinder? That's true. Badger, do you have too many people that currently talk to you? Because if you have too many friends that are currently speaking to you, Junkwinder is another really, really good control piece. I don't think Mizzix of the Ismagus is good for this deck, no. We could do Joyra Weatherlight Captain. Now, I will say Joyra is similar to Junkwinder. This is a tremendous way to power up the deck a lot and make everybody really, really fucking mad at you really quickly. You can kind of Little Bean when you just have Toggo out. I don't think any artifact deck can Little Bean if you have Joyra out. Now, if you're doing like, oh, I reverse engineer, oh, I demand answers, oh, I, sacrifice stuff to Thigh, or Psy, Master Thopterist. Like, even Psy, Master Thopterist is going to be, a pretty good thing. But we got to tighten up all this shit that is like, if I'm already having a good time, I have an even better time. Scrap Mastery is truly ridiculous. Most of the artifact things that we care about are they're either tokens that we want to have a ton of, or we have like individual really good artifacts, which for that, just play the Wet Lady, bro. I don't like her. Listen, I don't like her either. Nobody likes her. But if we want to have, if we want to play with our graveyard, just play the Wet Lady. All right, let's look at the reanimation targets that Ari is suggesting. Phyrexia is good. Great way to make motherfuckers hate you. And this is a really good way to get some goddamn blockers for once instead of the anemic 2/2 goblin. This will slow, if you have something to give this improvise or something that makes your artifacts tap for mana. This will board control, and it will give you their blockers. I honestly don't like Combustible Gearhulk. I do think I am in the minority here. Every single time I have seen Combustible Gearhulk resolved, what has happened is the person has said, fuck you, mill 3. And they take literally any amount of damage necessary. Now, you do have some reanimation that will make this better than nothing, but I don't think it is, I don't think we slam it in here over other stuff. Chamil says, this card actually reads, table beats you to death 5, and that 5 is the limit on the number of turns before you're dead. I don't think anything you can discover is good enough, although I do think this is fun. It is very fun. It will get you beaten to death. I like this because this is a very good way to tell people to go fuck themselves. Ifrit Monk, thank you for the Twitch follow. Welcome to the doghouse. As it stands, this deck is just more of a prank than an actual deck. Like, fetch me a card, Jeeves, would be reasonable if any of the artifacts we wanted to grab mattered. I don't like Wayfarer's Bauble. I mean, we do want to get land drop. We just have so many, like, whatever cards. Not fucking trade routes, man. This does probably work if the rest of the deck is better. Like, this is actually probably very cute. No, don't just play Urza instead. This is, again, Arya's allergic to having a silly, funny, good time. You stay with Tago. You stay with this dumbass Tago Glacian routine. I would cut... what I would do is I would cut the, like, generic artifact brain rot spells. Personally, I'm cutting Foundry Inspector, Ethereum Sculptor, Enthusiastic Mechanaut, both of these Mycosynths, Scrap Mastery, Mirrodin Besieged, Calendar. Probably one of these has to go, but maybe not all of them. Leyline of Anticipation and Vedalken Orrery. And then Scare Tiller and Walking Atlas and Unwinding Clock, holy fuck. And probably Lithoform Engine as well. And Retreat to Coralheim. These are all the like brain rot cards that are just in here because of the word cloud of like landfall and artifacts. If you want to build a fucked up deck, then yeah, you build a Urza deck and you have Krark Clan Ironworks in there and you do some type of like totally fucked up deck. Retreat is great though. Don't lie. Don't lie in the stream. Don't get a Karn, Alarin. You stop that. You put that down right now. Bad boy. Very bad boy. But these are all cards that should be good in a generic artifact deck. But your artifact deck is very, very specific in what it wants to do. And so then I would slap in... I would definitely at least slap in Cyberdrive Awakener and Rise and Shine. These two cards both read, okay, all of my artifacts can now beat somebody else to death. In terms of cleaning up the card draw generically, we at least need Reverse Engineer. Demand Answers is also good because it will can be fueled by a rock. Our curve is relatively low, so you could just ball out and do something like Wild Wasteland to prove you ain't a bitch, but that does get very, very awkward if we exile one of your like 1 win conditions. So I'm not super up on this. I am super up on Psi Master Thopterist. This is another way to get a really high number of artifact tokens, and it's a way to turn our bad artifact tokens into card draw. I thought we had Thoughtcast. We have Thoughtcast. We have both. What about the new card from Aether Drift that costs 3 red and gets you 1 impulse a turn? I don't think we want impulse draw in this deck because right now it's so limited. Oh, get rid of Brass's bounty, by the way. Please. Listen, I'll make you a deal. If we get a responsible version of this deck on parole for 3 months, you can put this back in for a land. If 3 months of good behavior, no misdemeanors, no mulligans to 5, you can cut a land and put Brass's bounty back in. But until then, you could do for your interaction. I mean, Cityscape Leveler is both a bomb and is interaction. I do actually love Trade Routes the more I look at it. Super fucked card. But I think we need to operate on the assumption that Toggo is actually our guy and Glacian is not really what we're doing. Turn 4, we crack this. That's 2 rocks in 1 turn, you guys. Honestly, you all sound a little bit crazy. We got our normal land drop and we got a basic to field in 1 turn. Who can keep up with that in Commander? We on 3 rocks, or I probably would do Myriad Landscape here. And then like, we don't want to play this shit, man. We're gonna get shot in the chest if we play this. We do want to play Thought Monitor for cost reduced by 4, so it's only 3 mana. That's a beautiful card. Look at that. Oh, Idol of Oblivion. Tap, draw a card. Oh, look how good drawing cards is. Rock. Myriad Landscape. 2 more rocks. We're up to 6 rocks. Now if only having rocks did anything. We lithoform engine. And I'm going to pay for the Myriad Landscape that I forgot to pay for. And we're going to Howling Mine because fuck it. This is how hard up we are for mana. No, not Radiant Lotus. We're not doing anything with the mana. We're not doing a goddamn thing with the mana. As Romancer's saying, we are in fact building fucking Stonehenge. Currently, like, hey, guess what? We don't even need the cards. We have infinite mana. What do? We continue building the pyramids, is what we do. I'm going to spend 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 mana, and hey, I'm tapping out to make double Blinkmoth Urn. Look at that. That's powerful, right? We have $1 million. We have $1 million and nothing's happening. So what we definitely want is we want slightly less ways to try to go from $1 million to $1 billion, and we want more ways to get to that first million and then turn that first million into dead bodies. And so that's where, like, I mean, if you want even more Huh? Oh, it's Comet Storm. It's Comet Storm. This accepts Bitcoin. This is another good way. Sting is kind of hot tech specifically for Glacian. I do kind of like that. So if we put, this is, hey, artifact, triggers some stuff. If we put this on Glacian, then we Beyblade our commander, and then we get our win con. So I would recommend that as well. But I would cut everything we told you to cut, and then put in the 14 of your favorite recommendations. But the main thing we need to do is we have Crackle with Power is a good card. As it is one card in a 99 card commander deck, that is greedy as a win con because it needs your artifact plan to have worked out, and it needs your artifact plan to have translated into infinite money. So if we're going to be greedy with our setup, we need to be a little more convinced that we're going to get to the payoff. So we have 3 additional payoffs for you in Cyberdrive Awakener, in Rise and Shine, in Comet Storm. And then we're going to clean up the setup a little bit. You will have a worse top end, but you will participate in more games. And personally, from a piloting perspective, I would recommend that you put in like 5 to 7 more pieces of interaction so that you can play a little bit more of like, I'm helping the table and I'm stopping other people from getting to their win attempts, but I'm not a threat. I think if you build this to speed run to Glacian and then speed run to Crackle with Power, that always ends in you getting your ass eaten by dinosaurs, and nobody wants that. Not even the dinosaurs. Togo probably tastes bad. This guy definitely hasn't showered. So I think right now this is greedy mechanic. And you've definitely picked a sillier mechanic than the average artifact player. So it's not like try hard, but we are kind of all over the place. So we need to run another manual ad, and then Vulture and Alarin, you two are up next. So Vulture, are you here? Alarin, are you here? Alarin, I know you are here. So Vulture or the Mighty Roosh, please sound off. Okay, Vulture and Alarin both here. And we hit this manual ad break to keep the mid-roll demons away. Oh, hold on. Galazeth Prismari would work well in this deck. Sorry about that, Tara. I was in the Twitch manager instead of the compiler for a minute. I don't think Galazeth works for us because of the limitation on instant or sorcery. I think Galazeth is good for the win con and bad for everything else, and we do not want we don't want more than a handful of cards that are only good for the win con. It's also like it helps support the win con but doesn't get us there by itself, versus if we play Galazeth and we have a ton of rocks, then we need Crackle with Power to win. If we play Rise and Shine and we have a ton of rocks, we just kill people. And so it's sort of the same issue of like, it's valid, but it's too many steps. Caleb, to get a deck looked at, you need to either be a Patreon member or purchase a commission on Ko-Fi, which go on sale the first Sunday of every month, but they do sell out quite quickly. Kingdom, Gene, Heck the Kobold, Sweet Defect, thank you all for the Twitch follow. Oh, hold on. Afreet Monk, Phantasm 13, Minion X, and Civ, Sav. Also, Bork, Big Frighten, and JJ Awesome Coolio, and Bassman 333 Games. Thank you all for the Twitch follows. Welcome to the doghouse, my friends. When's the next WoW stream? Probably like 2 weeks from now. It's probably going to be the weekend after next, because next weekend I have MagicCon Chicago. Kingdom Gene, thank you very much for the Prime sub. I appreciate those Bezos bucks, my friend. Welcome to the dog home. I mean, listen, Gecko, if you like it, I can make another one happen. Just say the word, okay? If you like it, we can make it happen. We just have a lot of stuff going on because we have roasting streams tomorrow and Wednesday because this month is very, very compressed. Griff25, thank you for the Twitch follow. Welcome to the doghouse, my friend. Oh, I actually don't think, I don't think we'll have time to do World of Warcraft before Chicago because tomorrow we have deck roasting. Then Tuesday we have a co-stream with 3-3 Elk. And then Wednesday we have deck roasting. And then Thursday I'm in Chicago because the flight is early in the morning on Thursday. So I'll make an announcement. Charlie, if you're not in my Discord or if anybody's not in my Discord, hop into my Discord. It's free to enter. I'm putting that link in the YouTube chat and I'm copy pasting it. Or sorry, I put it in the Twitch chat and I'm copy pasting it to the YouTube chat. Ads are almost over, meaning we're going to get into... I clicked to the wrong tab of my Google Sheet. We're going to get into Vulture's deck. Vulture has listed their deck power as silly, spooky, and scary, which is not possible. And they said it's force your opponents to draw cards to gain value with devil tokens and burn them out with a multitude of cards that deal incidental damage. Zurzoth, Chaos Rider. Just going to leave you all with that while I get some water. So what the hell are you trying to do? What the hell are you trying to do with this fucking draft chaff? So we have a 3-mana 2/3 that says whenever an opponent draws their first card each turn, if it's not their turn, you create a 1/1 red devil with whenever it dies, deals 1 damage to any target. Whenever one or more devils you control attack one or more players, you and those players each draw a card, then discard a card. Okay. So I want to be so clear. That's not good. It might be based, but it's not good. Oh, discard a card at random. Even worse. Still might be based. I imagine this is very fun until the 5th time you have to choose how you're randomly discarding. So we have card draw for me, which is Faithless Looting, Geth's Grimoire. This is good here. This is a very cute thing that becomes good in this deck. Idol of Oblivion's good here. Sure, this deck needs all the help we can fucking get. We have... What the hell is this for? So 2 damage to each creature, planeswalker in battle. So if we need to, we can board wipe ourselves, or we can, I guess, like cycle our hand. But I'd imagine if we have to have, because we're doing like draw discard stuff, right? We have to have discard synergies. I feel like we're better off just having a wheel, but we'll see. Exile top 2, yeah, who needs to discard? There's some discarding. This is a land, so I'll allow that. Discard your hand. That's perfect. That's perfect. Junk token for attacking. I think this is reasonable. It's a shame that this won't let us discard, but junks are still playable. Skull Clamp is fine to try to profit off our 1/1s. I don't know where to put these, but they're fun. Dance with Calamity. Okay, it is based. Descent of Dragons. Turn all my 1/1s into dragons. That's good. That could almost make this board state playable. That's amazing. Lame but useful. Lame but useful. Land Ramp is a crutch. This card sucks, dude. What? So we deal damage to each opponent who controls more lands than you equal to the difference, then create a number of treasure tokens equal to the damage dealt this way. So this is 5 mana. I make 1 treasure and I deal 1 damage to Steve the green player. See here you've been too responsible for that to work. You have 37 lands. Like you're probably hitting your land drops, partner. And the thing is, so is everybody. If we're making everyone draw and discard, like you're hand filtering everybody. So I don't think that this is going to be. Isn't it a lot more damage? No. It's just damage equal to the difference. So unless we've had somebody who unless the Gitrog player did Shapeshift, Splendid Reclamation. Other than that, it's not going to be crazy. There's definitely more non-basics we can work on than this, but it's never the most important part. Card draw for us, Secret Group Hub Tech. So we have half a wheel, draw, discard. Okay, a wheel. Amazing, a wheel. Good, force draw. Good, force draw. Another wheel, another wheel. Okay, good, I like this. Wheeling's good. We would... See, immediately, that previous artifact deck stole your fucking... Oh no, we have to make them draw on our turn. They did not steal your Howling Mine. We do have to do things on our turn that make them draw a card. I do immediately agree with Otherworld Atlas. Like, wheels are good, but it's really bad to give other people cards. It's just, listen, I like doing it too. It's really fucking bad because other people's cards are fucked up. And I'll tell you something for free. Other people's cards are gonna be better than Spiteful Repossession. I don't care who you're playing at. You could be playing at a mystery booster box draft. They have better cards than Spiteful Repossession. And so if we're not getting a benefit for giving them more than 1, we don't want to give them 7 just to do it. So there's Otherworld Atlas, which we put at 1 card, and then we tap it on our turn. There's Temple Bell, which you also tap on your turn. We will look at some others in the future. Death by 1,000 Cuts. So here's the discard synergy. Power 1 or less attacks, deal 1 damage. City on Fire, I feel like makes sense. Glinthorn Buccaneer. Bombardment makes sense. Okay, so we're kind of like group slugging. We're never the biggest threat. But we just want to advance the game state via the reduction of life totals, which is based. I think Mechanized Warfare is the worst thing you could be doing with this deck. Sorry, the second worst thing you could be doing in this deck. Why the fuck do we have Nyx Lotus? This is not obligatory. First of all, this is not obligatory. Mono red, tokens that don't count towards devotion is very much not obligatory. I think Razorkin Needlehead's fine. I worry about Raid Bombardment. We'll see how it feels in the playtest, but to me, this does not seem like a deck that's full of like little devil assholes that are trying to scratch your eyes out. This seems a lot like I send 3 devils to their death every turn to replace them with 3 new devils. And raid bombardment, I don't know, it doesn't feel like it adds up that quickly. Scrawling Crawler, good. I mean, Sunspine Lynx is fine just to shoot Todd and his dumbass life gain deck in the foot. I like Roller Crusher Ride. I like Torbran. Discarding for value. Inti's great. Oh yeah, Hot Tech, Monument to Endurance, fabulous card. Surly Badgersaur, also good. Obligatory removal section, most responsible red removal section I've ever seen. Reanimation is a crutch. I agree with you. Okay, so we have really good hater shit in here. We have a lot of good ways to create inevitability. I do think the rollout is going to struggle. Oh my god, the mana brick is back. We got a mana high five. Here's the thumb. Here are the fingers. We just have a mana high five. We have no curve. So what was the other? Darkstrom, thank you for the Prime sub. Welcome to the dog home, my friend. It's Howling Golem. I like Howling Golem. Even if we, maybe not because we probably don't get a lot of swings with this, but it is, I think, worth considering. Let's see how it currently plays. God damn, this is useless. God damn. So we do mountain, we start ramping. We're not going to do land destruction because we're not a fucking maniac. We do Ruby Medallion. And if we Ruby Medallion, we can pay for Zerzoth. So now, we've paid for Zerzoth. And look at that. We have a bunch of good payoffs. We have one way to make it happen, but it's going to require us to discard all of our payoffs. So I'm going to play this one. I'm going to swing. We get to draw, and we're going to roll a 1d6, going left from right. Left to right. 3. Thank fuck, we discard Nyx Lotus. We are very, very back. And then we get to make 1/1/1 Devil. Next turn. We send this guy to his death. We draw. We dump our fucking wheel, which is, hey, not the best thing ever. And this is also why we want things like Howling Golem, Temple Bell, Otherworldly Atlas, because we really don't want the ways we force people to draw and discard to be in our hand, because we can't fucking do anything with that. Zerzoth makes 1 devil per opponent. Nugget VODs, that only happens if we are attacking every opponent. Because the devil only makes the person it's attacking draw and discard. So when we swing 1 devil, 1 person draws and discards. So 1 opponent triggers Zerzoth. At the time we have 3 devils. Sorry, I thought Zerzoth was good for a moment. I would have just cast Wheel with that hand, TBH. Vulture, I mean, that is possible. I cannot impress upon you enough how much Descent of the Dragons is the best card in your deck. I hear you, and we have a point to prove, which is, holy fuck, is everything else you're doing so much worse than turning these guys into dragons. My mindset building the deck was I'll probably discard this and that's whatever. If your mindset is I'm going to shoot my feet off no matter what, even if I don't have to, that's fair. There is not a lot we can do. Like, I'm not advocating that you cut Wheel of Misfortune, but we have so many where we have an abundance of other things we can do that are going to let you trigger Zerzoth without just being like, fuck it, my hand's gone. So let's start looking at those. Because really, really the heart of what we want is we want more ways to make everybody draw one card. Oh shit, Library of Lang might actually be incredibly hot tech. Yeah, actually, fuck what I'm saying. You want this. You want old man Lang, who can just be like, okay, I'll discard this, but I'll put the one good card back on top of my hand. Just start cheating at Magic, bro. You're playing your Magic currently way too fair. Library of Lang, this is how you cheat. This is how you cheat at Magic. Now you wheel, and you don't give a fuck about what else happens. So let's go into Red Commander. Okay, this cares about teams. I mean, fuck it, dude. Look at this guy. This man is a straight up goon. What's a 7 mana thing we can cut? I know you have some. Mana Geyser? You a bitch. You don't have any X spells. Play the Dragon Mage. Play the goon, bro. Get silly. Get straight up silly with it. We have Molten Psyche for just another wheel. This is on death. Sensation Gorger is fucking ridiculous, but we are not on goblins. This is only on draw step. Zenith Chronicler is interesting because it's probably going to pay off for you sometimes, but it is a meta call. Because if you sit down with a bunch of other monocolored decks, who gives a fuck? Chris, we have that wheel in already. We have most of the wheels in already. Baylor's okay, but Baylor is only going to get us... Like, unfortunately, we just don't have... We don't have the colors that we really, really want for this, because we don't have a lot of ways to make multiple people draw one, which is what we really want. We don't want to have one person drawing a lot of cards. We want to have everybody drawing one thing. Scott, we don't want Puzzle Box because the drawing has to happen on our turn. Puzzle Box happens on their turn, and so that's also why like Font of Mythos and Howling Mine don't really help us. Is that just gives them more cards, and we don't get to do anything because of their cards. Okay, so there's like between 2 and 4 potential things you can add. One of which has to be fucking Dragon Mage. One of which I require to be Dragon Mage. To make this draw discard a little bit better. And then we have the death by 1,000 cuts section. So let me look at what else we can get popping whenever we discard something. You probably have most of these because most of them are like Glinthorn Buccaneer and Glinthorn Buccaneer byproducts. Okay, I think I need to have this in quotes. Holy fuck, yep, you got all of them. You got basically all of them. Honestly, Evora is not a very bad include. She has trample and is just, hey, a big shithead that's gonna punch people, which is sometimes highly necessary in a commander game. It's not death by 1,000 cuts, but it is death by one incredibly big cut straight to the dick hole. I love blood tokens, Alarin. I do believe we have Magmakin. Yeah, we have Magmakin Artillerist. We have a lot of the damage doublers. I'm really not certain that I believe in cards like Raid Bombardment and Hellrider. I will playtest the deck one more time to see if I feel any more. Oh, okay. Here's a good test because this one has Scrawling Crawler, which this is the big way we're going to be trying to turn on everything we're doing. So we opulent somebody, draw 1, please roll 6 because we have Nyx Lotus in that hand. Nope, it's 4, it's Unexpected Windfall. So on our next turn, we're going to have 4 devils. So I'm going to use a City's Blessing token to track the imaginary damage we would be getting off of Raid Bombardment. We send out 3 devils to die for us. And we get 3 from Raid Bombardment. We immediately get 3 more devils, and we do the draw discard game 3 more times. Okay, we get a 1. We get rid of Mana Geyser, which we didn't need anyway. We draw. We get rid of 6. We get rid of Bag of Holding, which we needed really badly. And then we get rid of Anger, which is based and is a very good thing that you've put in your deck. And now these guys probably died. But we're up to 6 damage that we've applied to the table. That's very cool. On our upkeep, we take 1,000,000 game actions. So we discard Wayfarer's Bauble. We discard Solemn Simulacrum. Please get rid of the Nyx Lotus, bro. And we get... No! Yeah, we need Library of Lang yesterday. Then we draw for turn. Oh, I put Solemn Simulacrum on the deck. We have Valakut Awakening. So at this point, we probably just fucking Roaming Throne. And now with... Oh, I'm not doing the commander right. Yeah, the draw discard's only on attack. I thought the two were totally linked together. So pretend I didn't do any of that stupid shit and I just made 3 tokens. We get to swing and we do 9 damage from like a pretend Raid Bombardment. Then pretend we did all these draw and discards. We get to replace them with 3 more devils. And then we go to our next turn and we make 3 more devils off of Scrawling Crawler. So when we have like one of the 10 best cards in our library that allow us to force everybody to draw one card on our turn, that is when things like Raid Bombardment and the Hell Riders start to matter. It never looks to me like they would like you have a board where you feel really good about swinging out. It looks to me like you have a lot of like low level henchmen from the Batman comics who are like talking mad shit, but you never have a board where you're like, yeah man, I'm just gonna crash out and kill everybody and you're not gonna be able to stop me. And we definitely want some cards where if we're converting to a lot of devils, we don't have to be little bitches about it, because it's very not mono red to have to hold back our devils. And I think in every situation, Hell Rider and Raid Bombardment are just losing the calculation to shared animosity. Iron, thank you for having the chat message come up right on fucking cue. I think shared animosity is going to be better for us in terms of having a combat presence than this continued like 1-1-1-1 shit. Even though the 1-1-1-1 shit is relatively thematic in terms of play pattern, it does force you to have the play pattern of a coward bitch. Lord Noodles, thank you for the Twitch follow. Welcome to the doghouse, my friend. I don't know about impact tremors either. Like I would rather make the devils better. Like at this point, it's even. I know this is a dumbass Bloomborough card, but in most situations, if the deck is beginning to win, Banner of Kinship says 5 mana, I have lethal on the table. 5 mana, I have lethal on the table, and by your own admission, if we do not have a shitload of damage, just fucking discard it. Who cares? Just discard it. Ooh. Yeah, I like Pyretic Charge. Who said that? Switch DM? I like this one for sure. I don't think O'Hare Astronil needs to go if we're improving the Devils, because we're keeping a million other ways to deal 1 damage at a time. I just think I just think that Raid Bombardment and Hell Rider are the worst versions of this pinging that we have, because based on the play patterns I'm seeing in the playtest, this deck does not actually want smoke. This deck does not want a ton of smoke. This deck wants to kind of hang back and be a dickhead. Like, this wants to be comic Joker, not movie Joker. This deck's not trying to get up in the guts. It's not trying to do anything crazy. We're not doing Coat of Arms, Alarin. Stop trying to let the other token players win in front of us. Iron Maiden would be a good ad. No, this would be ridiculous. Emberwild Captain would be a good ad. We're gonna go ahead and ban you now, Inoxa. Was this the spooky, scary, and silly deck? Yeah, this is the deck that is all 3 power levels, and I think it is. I don't think it's scary, but I think that it vacillates really, really quickly between silly and spooky, Because if you get Roaming Throne and then you get any of the trigger every turn card draw things, yeah, then the deck does turbo bullshit. I think most of the time it's spooky, but once you begin doubling, I would say like opponents could make it scary. I think if you played this deck into 3 mono blue card draw decks, yeah, this is a sleep paralysis nightmare. This is a horror movie. You're Jason at summer camp just chopping them all up and hiding their body parts. But if you play this into the average table, it's probably like silly most of the time, and then sometimes it gets to be spooky because sometimes holy fuck, I played Roaming Throne. I'm going to let you keep wandering Archaic just because I think sharing is caring. I'm not going to let you keep this because holy hell. And then I would add the other permanent based ways to draw discard. Add Library of Lang, and then send us the clips of your table pogging off every time you do it. And then drop in Shared Animosity so that you can stop being a coward and actually fight for once. Because I think the Devils want to crash out, and we need to give the Devils more tools to crash out. Anyone want to mail your boy a Library of Lang? Hold on. You ready for the hot Library of Lang tech? I'll mail you one tomorrow. It's going to look like this. Let's get our man that library. But Pyretic Charge would be so on theme and so good for you. You know, we want to advance life totals towards 0, but we want to advance the life totals. Ravenous Amulet for draw. Honestly, yeah, this would be a pretty good card draw engine for you. This would be, you'd have to give up some devils, but I think if we make the edits to this deck we talked about, you do have enough devils to feed some to your microwave. Stop to cap, please. Switch, we're trying to make the deck work. This card is like either it wins you the game on the spot, or hey, you're not playing Magic anymore. And Oxa, they got Gets Grimoire, yeah. Playtest also assumes we lose every devil. In my experience, someone will let devils through. So that is both fair and like if you play against stupid children, you do get to do whatever you want. And so I don't like playtesting when the assumption is my opponents are going to do a dumb thing that they shouldn't do. Because it puts us in this position of like we can justify any number of like bad card choices or really greedy play patterns by just being like, oh, well, I'm a master gaslighter and my opponents are going to let it happen. Some people do get to do that. And I do believe that I am appropriately approximating like the average player. I don't even think, like, I'm not pretending that you're sitting down with top tier CEDH players who know everything about your deck and are perfectly poised to counter you. I'm doing reasonable person test. If I see a highly throwable imp running at my face, I am chucking that imp. Okay? Straight up. I'm chucking the goddamn imp. You will see me really often assume, like, prior to turn 3 or 4 that we're going to get hits through. But after turn 4, I'm like, yeah, people are not allowing the highly throwable imp to scratch them in the face for free. I'm going to eat a little rice because I'm about to pass out. Troper, I was in fact referencing the meme in the Patreon Discord. I did love that. Kingdom Gene, the two ways to get your deck roasted are to either be a Patreon member or get a Ko-Fi commission, both of which are out of sale for this month but will go on sale next month. So we're going to hit that last manual ad break, and then it's time for a Laren. My experience in Magic is that it's really only like the top 20% of enfranchised players that even attempt to play according to any proper theory. The Pareto curve's real. That is true. Like, I know that there's plenty of people who would be like, I could block this 1/1 imp, but fuck it. I just don't want to be critiquing the decks from that standpoint. Prof posted a short with me in it. How does that man have any fresh footage of me? Hold on. I need to see how old this video needs to be. Over a year. This is like 2 years old, this video. Maybe even, it can't be much older than 2, but damn, this shit is old. At least we getting views though. That's how we do it. Me when I get my hands on a banana, we're getting the views. Okay, somebody kidnapped Willpower halfway through a sentence because they said, "Damn, Mauled, you weren't." Shoutouts to Spice for introducing me to Mauled even if it wasn't on purpose. Yo, shout out to Spice for like giving me my entire goddamn career. Obviously, I was out here bussing it down with the jokes regardless, but Spice is the one who told Prof about me and then Prof was the one who put me on Shuffle Up and Play, which then put me on the broad map of content creation even when I was just starting. So shout out my GOAT cryptid Spice 8 Rack, both for being dope on their own and really, really putting me on in a big way in the community when I was just starting out. Rip in peace, me who discovered you on your own. Listen, Laren, you're a day one, and I appreciate that. I appreciate that. Like Spice put me on business wise, if you know what I mean. Like I was a guy with some popular TikTok bits, and Spice definitely put me on to the like being a content creator type thing. Oh, thank you, Tristan Selinger. I appreciate that. If I could channel Sean William Scott every day of my life, I would die happy. Spice got you to grease up the pole, as it were. Let's talk about that. Let's just reflect on that sentence you said in my Twitch chat. Moment of silence for Jay Dizzy's free bottom surgery, which will be getting delivered via FedEx. Surge to Victory has potential for Zerzoth. Okay, we'll look at this and then we'll do a Laren's deck. Yeah, well, we slept the thing is we tried to sleep a decent amount, but we didn't. Sleep was not great, but we're thugging it out. Creatures you control get +X +0. No, that's based. This is not this. Listen, Vulture. This is not the best card we've recommended to you. It's probably not even a good card based on the mana value of spells you're going to be exiling. However, I want you to imagine a world. This is where I'm going to recommend irresponsible dog shit. I want you to imagine a world where you exile Dance with Calamity. I want you to imagine a world where you give all of your little shithead devils +8/+0 and then cast Dance with Calamity like 8 times. No extra combats. That might actually function. We are Dance with Calamitying. We are dancing the night away with Surge to Victory. Alright, let's move on to Alarin's deck, which is Spooky. What did I just close? Okay. Spooky, it says, get zombie, play zombie, shoot people with the commander. Zambonies. Get it? Bonies? Zombies? Clap, bitches! Not the best deck I own, could make it better, which is why it's here. Trying to make a mid-range zombie flood rehandimate deck. I'm usually going to tutor for Dictate of Erebos, Necroduality, or Geralf. Generally trying to shoot people in the health with either a board or the commander's upkeep trigger, or both. Sideboard is wishlist or considering sort by tags. Grab ratings made up. Actual cardboard touching. Okay, zombie-based draw. Tutor. Okay, sure, it's cardboard that you get to touch. Zombie-based draw, death-based draw, attack-based draw, tutoring, zombie-based draw, zombie-based draw. Okay, so let's talk about being a responsible human being, which Alarin is not. This is for sure cardboard touching. Off rip, we have a bunch of cardboard touching that only does anything if the zombie plan has already happened. We've touched on this with a couple of other decks, but it turns out living your life by the motto, I'll probably just stay winning, does not work well unless you are a tall, pretty white man and you got a small loan of $10 million from your dad. We do. So the first thing we're going to slap on here, is card draw that works no matter what. It's good to have a lot of thematic cards. Thematic cards make you happy. We want at least a few cards that are going to work no matter what. Maybe we've had a couple unlucky draws. Maybe we've gotten board wiped. We need some stuff that doesn't need us to already be winning in order to stay winning. We need some stuff that's going to just like be a little baby win in the first place. The really bad examples of this are like Knight's Whisper. I turn one card into 2 cards that are hopefully better. We're going to go through a much better examples of this, but off the rip, this is what I'm going to lovingly call optimistic card draw. This is a person who's maxing out a credit card to purchase Bitcoin because they're very confident that they're going to be able to flip it before the end of the month to pay off their credit card. If they do it, everything's great and they're rich. If they don't, you have a military intelligence on the field with 1/2/2 zombie, and you never do anything for the rest of the game. Best curse word ever? You're just right. Just an undead dude. So now we have a bunch of zombie banners. Personally, zombies are so good, we don't need a man cosplaying as a zombie. We are not hard up for good zombies. We don't need Freddy in his zombie outfit to show up to the party unless we have like crazy combat damage triggers. I guess, hey, rest in peace, Joey Schultz. This is good. Makes us a ton of zombies. This can be good if we begin if we begin sacrificing a ton of zombies. Okay, here's the beginning of the rehandimate. Okay, more zombies per zombie. I like that. Could be. We have 38 creatures. This could get high up. It's probably going to vacillate between like a 5/5 and a 10/10, which for 3 mana is not great, but is not useless. Why did it look like you had the same hair as the curse guy? Cause I do. Motherfucker bit my style. Is how. Open the graves. More zombie per zombie. In fact, now like we definitely, what the fuck is Changeling Outcast doing in here? If we have a guy with the anthrax sword, we do not need Tom and his zombie dress up. We're speed running to hell. Okay, mana sink to make zombies. That's cute. Okay, late game payoff for zombies. Fucking, we have zombies with. Do you just think? All right, if you just think this is cute, I will give you this as a flavor pick. But this is a you had this card. This came out of the fucking draft box that you made the deck with. This is ridiculous. I think this life drain clause is up there in the shit that is never happening category, with like Scarlett Johansson walking into your life and giving you a kiss on the cheek. All the money went to other decks. Where'd all the other brain cells go, though? Because, hold on. This guy's going to be more than 35 cents. There we go. 64 cents. Where'd our Google time go? So I would replace the changelings. I think we have zombies have so much support. They are like anecdotally the second most supported creature type after elves in terms of all the shit they get. Matryoshka zombies. Endless Ranks of the Dead is fucked up. Okay, this is a good Death Toucher for us. Necroduality, yeah, that's great for you. Reflections is great for you. Still don't believe in white. Reanimate me harder, Bone Daddy. I added that last part just for you. Sure, it's a zombie that can enter from the graveyard. That's better than nothing. What's up, Zilla? Okay, 7/7 flyer, -1/-1 for each card in your hand. 4 mana, discard 3. Return from the graveyard to the battlefield tapped. My man, we are not making it out of the draft cube with this guy. I know he is just $1, but we are not making it out of the cube draft with this piece of shit. I know it is Reanimate. That is good. We cannot be dumping 3 cards just to get this dickhead who, if things are going well, we want you to have a full hand. We want you to be rehandimating. We want you to be refilling your hand. Yeah, Geralf's Masterpiece. This is... Bro, if this was your PhD thesis, they would take away your bachelor's degree. If this was your capstone project, they would send you back to elementary school. So we could be doing it like, so the reality, the world in which this card is good is if we were leaning into the Scarab God's activated ability. which is 4 mana, turn something into a token that's a zombie copy. So if we had a bunch of like expensive bombs in this deck that we wanted to exile and turn into 4/4s, Geralf's Masterpiece is super good for that. However, that's not what we're doing. We're trying to do Zombie Flood. So I don't think the Masterpiece fits into Zombie Flood. Hi, baby. What's up?
I'm Iron 2.
You made it! Come here. Good job.
I've leveled up.
Yeah.
I am hopeless and addicted.
Why are you playing ranked without me?
Don't judge
That's
me.
not healthy.
Celebrate me.
It's not healthy. I'm proud of you. It's not healthy. Stella, thank you for the Twitch follow. Welcome to the doghouse, my friend. Relentless Dead. So when it dies, you can pay black to return it to hand. And when it dies, you can pay X. Oh, that's hot. Ooh. Ooh. I do declare. This card is ridiculous. I realize it reanimates. I think there's just better things we can do. When Prized Amalgam enters the battlefield, if it entered from your graveyard or if you cast it from your graveyard. Oh, whenever a creature. So if we reanimate something else, we get to bring Prized Amalgam back to field. I currently don't believe in this. Because the like solid pieces of reanimation we have in this deck are 1, 2, we're cutting him, and we're cutting him, 3, 4. So without a lot more tutors or without a lot more card draw, I am not... And Scourge of Neltoth is also extremely irresponsible. I'm not actually confident that Prized Amalgam is going to see a lot of creatures coming in out of the graveyard. If we keep doing a lot more... Yeah, I mean, the commander does scry a bunch. He is also 5 mana, and I own a firearm. So, like, I'm trying to be real about how long you're keeping this, man. When your commander's 5 mana, we have to be very, very critical about the deck working without the commander unless you have green. If it's a 5 mana commander in green, whatever. You get him turn 2. I don't care. If it's 5 mana in blue-black, brother, you need to be responsible. You need a job that pays you every 2 weeks on a Friday and has their payroll department acting right. We do not have time to be justifying picks by saying our 5 mana commander will handle it eventually. Because they will kill you. They will kill you in the street, Alarin. And I will weep for you. I will say to the reporter, oh, I knew he had it coming. Oh, and I told him. And he told me, oh no, God, I remember it clear as yesterday. Oh, my 5 mana commander will scry 3. That's what's going to happen. Okay? We can't let that be you. We cannot let that be you. Like, it's like your, when your commander is this potentially threatening, we want to have the game plan be really, really robust. And I do not yet think it's robust enough. Now, I'm not going to tell you, like, cut Prized Amalgam, do whatever. Like, I have cards in mind that I think are just better for what the deck wants to do. Then we have Rehandimate. Sure, get me a zombie back, whatever. Get me something back. This changeling you can keep. Sure, this guy gets himself back all the time. Oh yeah, the Scarab God can duck commander text, or commander tax. Hold on. I just want to... It's really good that if the Scarab God dies, you'll just get him right back. What I really like is how if the Scarab God gets removed by anyone other than 63% of all decks, we'll just get him right back like that. Where's this? Where's this card at? Hold on. Hold on. I'm not even going to find it in real life. Who cares? I proxied this shit today. I printed this off a color printer at 10:30 a.m. specifically because I was like, oh, exiling's just better. Exiling's just better. She's a 10, but those crazy eyes, though, god damn it, you're right. I hate when you're right. So put the top 3 cards into your graveyard. If one's a zombie, lose 3, gain 2. Or lose 2, gain 2. Sure. Removal based on zombies. We can cast zombies from graveyard. That's fine. She's hot, but that doesn't make you any less of a simp. 2, 3 that gives zombies +1/+0. And once a turn, we can make a zombie if something died. I fuck with that. It's not the best, but like totally playable. Sacrifice, turning zombies into cards. Beautiful. Stop having that. So here's all of our removal. I like that. 6 mana, it better do something great. When it ETBs or dies, exile a card from a graveyard. When you do, remove X counters from a permanent. Sold to the card that will remove a planeswalker from existence. Moving on. I love this. Cunning Evasion. Return to hand on block. I kind of like that. I feel like we have some... I feel like I saw some ETB shit. Dictate of Erebos. You're a monster, but you are a mechanically correct monster. Same goes for this guy. Yeah, fuck it. Bad counterspell, it makes a zombie. Thematic, I'll give it to you. I do like Force of Despair. I like how you're the evil token player and nobody gets to infringe on your turf, huh? You get to zombie flood. Somebody tries to rabbit flood? Nah, fuck them. This is a funny card. Reasonable. This is reasonable even without being a destruction thing. 34 lands, I think, crazy low. And so the 34 lands is also why I'm saying the deck has to work without Scarab God. Because without Scarab God and with the card draw section being what it is, I would say if we play tested this like 20 times, half of the games, you're not even resolving your commander until like turn 7. Zamboni Technician. So here is all of the, not even racism, but just like heartbeat-ism. Yeah, zombies having menace is good. Sack out like good. Amassing good. So these are all reasonable. We will see how it playtests and confirm the lack of responsibility that I have talked about earlier. So we reveal that. Turn 2. You got incredibly lucky with that land being on top. We'll play Bantu's Monument so we can open up more of these creatures to play. And then just Herald's Horn. So now on upkeep, we don't get to do that, but we could play Scarab God. Do we even want to? So like here's the... We have Rehandimate. We have Fleshbag Marauder, which can be used for board control, but really doesn't help us. We just dump our commander turn 5 because fuck it. Oh, Rorkstan and Psycho Guardian, thank you for the follows and the Prime subs, my friend. I appreciate those Jeffrey dollars and for kicking off a hype train in the channel. I will enjoy the free Amazon money. Thank you, my new bestie. So it's turn 5. We have a deck that really wants to set up without our commander and has not successfully set anything up. So next turn, we have no zombies, but we get to check with Herald's Horn. This is a zombie, so we get it to hand. So now for 2 mana, that's pretty hot. It does have to be 2 black. We can Violent Tumor. I'm going to pick Diregraph Colossus because that is the card whose name I remember. Oh, god damn. All right, Spartan, thank you for the Prime sub. I appreciate those Jeffrey dollars. And Dungeon Masters Consortium, thank you for gifting 5 Tier 1 subs. You climb further in the arches of Dog Heaven. I appreciate that generosity very much. So we're not really at Zombie Flood yet. This is more of a Stinky Trickle. Also my nickname in college. We can't do a lot of anything because we are pip screwed on this Violent Tumor. Bottle Kel Tath, thank you for the Prime sub. I appreciate those Bezos bucks. Welcome to the dog home. Now we are getting our lands, which is kind of nice, but it is fucking us up in every other sense. So for 1 and a black, we get Diregraph Colossus back. Then for just a black, we get Diregraph Colossus. Now this begins to look good. However, it is turn 7, and even the precons are beating us at this point. We can dump this guy on the table to get an extra 2/2. Holy shit, can we please undo that? Nope, who cares? Okay. So we get an extra 2/2. Everybody sacrifices something. We sacrifice the 2/2. Now on our next upkeep, now shit is crazy, right? Now shit is crazy because we have Scarab God, hopefully, and 4 zombies. So we get to scry 4. I'm going to keep Necro Duality on top and Endless Ranks of the Dead on top. And I'll choose to draw Necro Duality. But now we're tapping out to do this, and our turn's over. We cannot Diregraph Captain because we don't have the pips to make this work. We don't have anything super imposing to play. And we're really just having this like super threatening setup, but it's so telegraphed. You're doing like a slow motion anime punch. And you definitely, now I do want to be clear, I love a good speech. I love a good villain speech. It's okay to have that ready, but you are punching at like 12 frames per second. This deck is the Chimera Antarch in Hunter x Hunter, and we gotta get to the finish line somehow. So what I'm really gonna recommend is, if we don't want to have more lands, we have to at least be on some talisman behavior. We have a lot of shit to pay for. We have a lot of shit to pay for that requires us to pay with pips. You did a good job of cost reducing your stuff, and I think on like 4 out of 7 turns, we had to stop what we were doing because we did not have the right pips to cast any of our stuff. Now, other people are coming in with zombie suggestions. So there's Gisa and Geralf. Holy fuck, yeah. This is hot for normal reasons. Oh, wait, no, they're related. Okay, they're not. Yeah, it's actually hot for normal reasons because this isn't a ship. I thought this was one of the zombie ship things. 19 cents. No money. No money. Goes crazy. Another great, also expensive guy is going to be Grave Titan. Costs basically no money. Oh, they're in your wish list. Okay. Oh, great. So let's look at these. Yeah, Death Baron's going to be good. Honestly, I don't I don't believe in the Fleshright. I think the Fleshright is his own deck or is just made for a totally different deck. Like you need to be doing some like highly ADHD storm behavior for Geralt the Fleshright to really pay off. I think like Rooftop Storm, that's very very zombie of you. Gisa the Hellraiser. This is also like very good, but would require you to rebuild the deck a little bit because I don't think you have very many targeted triggers. I think you have, this is each, like the 12 pieces of interaction are not enough to justify Gisa. Damn, why is that zombie so bad? Hold on. Computer enhance. Never mind. Am I wrong? No, Jumpstart 2022 decided we were all going to be down bad for the zombie lord. Nobody needs to say would. Nobody needs to say would. We all know it, okay? We all felt it. Or we better have. But anyway. So... I think we want is Mana Rock the right O tag? Great. Okay. Here's all of our Mana Rocks. I don't even think we have Arcane Signet in, which we should have in. Like, this deck, you could even play Charcoal Diamond, even though it's not great. You could even play Cold Steel Heart. That is how broke you are. That is how deep behind the Wendy's deep fryer we are digging for some of these cards. Because everything you want to do is so expensive. Like, even though your biggest thing is at 3... like all of your 3s are so threatening that you need to be playing a lot faster. And then for every other thing we're trying to do, I think a lot of your actual cardboard touching fails the frantic search test. Right? And frantic search is 28 cents. So there's no budget reason to disregard frantic search. Too Mad to Play, thank you for the follow and the Prime sub. I appreciate those Bezos bucks. Welcome to the dog home, my friend. Not even the frantic search test. Like, we'd even be fine with Chart a Course. I think there's a lot of situations where Chart a Course pays off for you either way. Either you got to draw 2 or you got to put something in graveyard to reanimate later. And those are a lot of the like, fuck, I kept a 2-land hand and now I'm stuck. And Chart a Course is going to unstick me and allow me to continue playing the game. So we want a lot of stuff that is going to keep us in the driver's seat. Tome-bound Lich. Hey, thank you, Dr. Tal. Oh yeah, you would fuck with this guy heavy. Death Toucher and Lifelinker. So take that Scorpion, replace the Scorpion with this guy. Threadbare Goblin, thank you for the Prime sub. Welcome to the dog home, my friend. I appreciate that generosity. Yes, Spring Loaded. It's a shame that your comment doesn't appear in the on-screen chat, because yes, Ancestral Recall is equally as good as Frantic Search. I agree with you. Corporate wants you to find the difference between 1 mana draw 3 and 3 mana card selection. These are equally powerful and difficult to obtain cards. And anytime somebody mentions Frantic Search being good for the deck, that is equivalent to saying, well, hey, why don't you just play Ancestral Recall? I'm glad we are of one mind in this. You fucking punk. God damn. Same thing to me, Muldrotha. But yeah, Frantic Search is a relatively high bar because Frantic Search is quite a good card. But there's still the fucking Chart a Course test. Like, we just need some cards that don't require us to already be ahead to pay off for us in terms of card draw. You could even, like, we're failing the Knight's Whisper test right now. We're not even up on the Knight's Whisper test at present moment. Oh, Shadow, I'm well aware. I have a Scarab God Brawl deck. I'm well aware of the bullshit you can do. So we have like bad mana rocks you can put in. We have bad card draw you can put in. Because the deck's core game plan of I'm going to shit zombies until you die is very fine. Like, that's worked for as long as Magic the Gathering has been a game, and it's going to work for you now. But we do need to get around the pip problems, my throbbing, never mind. And the fact that sometimes your hand can get very, very, very stuck. I'm just saying very little draw is going to be better than Frantic Search. I think it depends on the deck. I do agree with you for this deck, mainly because it does want to use the graveyard. There are a lot of decks where card selection is legitimately not all that helpful. And so that is where I'm going to disagree with you. Is card selection is not always the best thing in the fucking world. I went through a long period of deck adjustments where I was very overconfident about how effective card selection was as a sort of like cure-all. And so like there are decks where trying to avoid going down on cards in hand at any cost are worth it. This deck is not one of them. And so Frantic Search is definitely more of the pinnacle than the floor that we want to be reaching for. But I would say Chart a Course is very realistic as the floor. Oh, right, Iron. Yeah, Pact of the Serpent, which we saw earlier. This is more of a, like, stuff has to be going well. Right? We need to have zombies in play. But I do like it in general. I think given the speed your deck has been operating on, I don't believe in Unbreathing Horde. You were not getting a lot of zombies into play. You were not getting a lot of zombies into the graveyard. This was going to come in with like 2 +1/+1 counters on it, and then it's going to fall over dead. Same goes for Liliana's Elite. I think we went through that whole playtest, and you got like straight up 1 zombie into the graveyard. Oh, Cryptbreaker is here to fucking save you. Yeah, Cryptbreaker is here to save your entire shit. You are dumping one of the things. You are dumping the 3 mana 1/1, and you are putting in Cryptbreaker. And this will turn on your other Reanimator stuff, and it will turn on a little bit of card draw if stuff is going well. But we would play this card even if it didn't have the second thing. Wilhelt is in the deck, Roosh. Which, Roos, I'm sorry to say, you were scheduled for today. We may need to reschedule you because my vision is going to go blurry very, very soon. Gem Palm. Polluter? No, this is goddamn ridiculous. We are never going to cast this man. Be for real. You suggested him just because you like Guillermo del Toro's Pan's Labyrinth. The cycle is fine. This is a stretch goal for something we can put in the deck if we make a more reliable version of the deck. The deck that we had was cycling this for target player loses 4 life. If Gem Palm Polluter, if this man is winning us the game, we were already winning the game. A clever Kenku, thank you for the Twitch follow. Welcome to the doghouse, my friend. Hey, Will, you said Champion of the Dead. It seems like you've made a typo. Therefore, showing you to be the Soy Jack Cuck and me to be the Alpha Chad. I will now ban you from my Twitch chat for daring to make a typo in my presence. Oh, this is legitimately, I think it's unnecessary. This is a much better card in 1v1 than it is in a free-for-all. I think this is like the most common iteration of if this guy's winning the game, we were already winning the fucking game. Especially with an effect like Scarab God. I think if people are letting us get away with this, we've probably gotten away with one of our like table-wide issues. For that same reason, I'm gonna say probably make Gavany Unhallowed fuck out of here. We're still having trouble just getting enough cards onto the field to make people afraid, let alone worrying about trying to set up our own sack routines. Why is everyone making typos in chat? What's happening? What's happening with the chat typos? IB Cabbage, thank you for the Twitch follow. Welcome to the doghouse, my friend. I appreciate that. Oh, Graves Spawn. Dungeon Masters Consortium, thank you for the 100-bit cheer. Welcome back to the top of the dog pile. No. We're not... Listen, everybody. We're stopping the brain rot. We're not putting in more cards that only work if we're already winning the game. We're putting in cards that are going to get us to a position of having 5 zombies in the first place. These are later. These are things we can put back into the deck after we fix it. In the fix it stage, we need more stuff that is going to get us to have a board, not more stuff that requires us to have a board. Saying Noxious Ghoul and Shepherd of Rot. This is hater shit. There may be... This is still a maybe for me, because right now, there are basically no situations where we're doing the zombie flood. As long as we're still on the stinky trickle instead of the zombie flood, I don't like cards that require us to have a lot of things enter the battlefield at once. So it was Noxious Ghoul, and then what is the... I'm seeing Prophet of the Scarab. Very good card, eventually does not work in the current version of this deck. Like, one thing, Alarin would have to proxy, but one thing that would fix basically every problem this deck currently has is Mesmeric Orb. A huge amount of self-mill fixes basically everything that's going wrong with the deck as it currently stands. Oh, and then Shepherd of Rot. Don't think it's worth it. I don't think we're I don't think we are worried about payoffs once we have a lot of zombies. We are worried about how do we ramp quickly and efficaciously into having a lot of zombies. Like, I think once we have 10 or more zombies, we just kill everyone anyway. Cabbage, we did suggest Crypt Breaker already. I think Wand of Orcus is very okay, especially in terms of, like, if we ever do get our commander down. Motherfuckers do not like blocking a death touching creature. If you have death touch on your creature, I will always believe you if you say, yeah, this is going to connect. Like, we do one more playtest. So, hey, this guy, instead of being a really bad 3-1, this is Mesmeric Orb. I want us all to keep that in mind. We reveal a card. We get to scry 3. Hey, instead of being a 2-mana creature that only has upside if we also cast removal, this is a mana rock. We put it on top. We cast a mana rock. We tap our mana rock and play Mesmeric Orb. Next turn, we mill 4. We now have 4 cards in our graveyard. We tap out for our commander. Next turn, we don't scry at all, but we're going to mill 5, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we were Relentless Dead. And we... Oh, so we Necro Duality, and then we Relentless Dead. We now have Relentless Dead and a token copy of Relentless Dead. We mill 5 more cards. On our upkeep, we get to scry 2. I like both of these. We'll draw Geralf. We play Fleshbag Marauder. We dump our token copy. And we can pay 4 to reanimate a zombie now. I'm going to reanimate Graveshifter. And I'm going to take Diagraph Colossus to hand. And then we'll do a little fuck around and put a Profane Tutor on the stack. So that next turn, we're going to untap 7 things. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We get to scry 3 now. Hey look, Reflections of Litjara and another mana rock. Oh, Prized Amalgam comes back. Well, it's too bad that we cut that for a mana rock, isn't it? It's quite a shame. It's quite a shame that we cut that ridiculous card for another mana rock, but here we have it. So I'm going to put... I actually think Reflections of Litjara is kind of like too much of a waste of time here. So I don't necessarily... I'm going to dump all 3 of these. I don't think any of these are what we need right now. We draw. Okay. Play a zombie. Play a zombie. We copy all of these. And now the flood is happening. Now we're on like turn 7. The board is flooding with zombies. And like maybe somebody farewells us. But at least I think like for a casual deck, if you were trying to build for... like a 2 or something. Turn 7, my game plan is 100% happening if people haven't shot me in the kneecaps, is good. And I think the things you have done, other than Mesmeric Orb, have not been overly threatening. And that is the power of not even having card draw, but literally just having like mana rocks and that one way to mill yourself. So if you really don't want to do Mesmeric Orb, Oversold Cemetery, if you spell it right. Oh, but this doesn't, hold on, this doesn't self-mill. There's one where you like hide away 4 and on upkeep you mill 4 cards. You have 20. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking of, Iron. The black hideaway card from Capenna. Oh, Tampering. Even if you're not going to do Mesmeric Orb, at minimum, Cemetery Tampering. So that you get a little bit of self-mill. And then if you do all this self-milling, then I will allow you to keep the Rehandimate stuff and all the other stuff. But you need to have a full graveyard because it's basically your other hand. And right now you are ignoring your second hand. You can't be a one-hand Johnny. You need to be a two-hand Johnny. Honestly, Court of Cunning, all upside to you. Shout out AL Walser in YouTube chat. So you get to be the Monarch. You're going to have chump blockers to defend the Monarch. And if you don't want to make enemies, just mill yourself. Monarch, you mill 10. Dope shit. You love that. Oh, you're milling too much? Any number becomes 0. And then we can also get into the staples that people are calling out, like Ripples of Undeath, good in every black deck. Just absolute dog shit cheater. Palantir, good in every deck ever. I don't think we want to do this too much. I think Self-Wheel is going to be a little greedy. So overall, Alec, I'm going to put you, let's put you on the alignment chart. I think this is also a very, very greedy mechanical deck. I think the core game plan of the deck works, but you're just irresponsible. Like this deck is chicken nugget kid energy. We're being really, really irresponsible with the like baseline levels of activity and fitness and eating vegetables that we want to do, and this deck just wants to eat Doritos and play World of Warcraft, which I sympathize with, but I'm not going to let you do. And with that, we're going to be at the end of today's stream. Roosh, I promise I will get you rescheduled. My brain is melting, and we have another deck roast happening at noon tomorrow. So I will see. Oh, Will, hit me with the question. We'll do your question, and then we'll find somebody to raid, and then we'll be out for the day. If you ask me to show meat, I'm just going to close the stream. Oh, wait, is anybody I'm following live? I always forget to do that check. No. So while Will asks his personal question, let's also, any raid suggestions are accepted in chat. How's your vision? Glasses, contacts, nothing, etc. I used to have really bad vision. I got LASIK done a couple years ago. I used to have, like a -5 power. I used to have like a -5 power prescription. And then I got LASIK done, and now it's nothing. Oh yeah, we'll raid back into, if Joe's still doing the charity stream, we'll raid back in. Let me go find that boy. We're going to raid Tabletop Jocks. The raid message is going to be tear ass, baby. Knox, I'll try to remember August buns for next stream. But Tear Ass Baby is going to be the raid message. We'll be live again in 16 hours. I hope to see every one of you then. Thank you all for watching, for the bits, for the subs, for the follows, just for the eyeballs. Thank you all from the bottom of my heart. I hope you've had a good week, and I hope we kick it off right tomorrow with more of the same bullshit. And remember to stay toxic. For me, your goon daddy.